Y'all ready for this shit? Huh? It is time. Hey, Bill, how's it going, man? Good to see you, as usual. Okay. Let's get into it, huh? Should probably get rid of those, huh? A little bit in the way. Just a little, you know? Okay. And probably gonna have to lower that a bit. They raised it last time, so. I know, continue. Twisted Karma in his last bow. Ugh, I'm excited. Let's get into it. Episode 4. It was indeed a most bizarre incident born of a curious advertisement and a commonplace killing at the edge of town. Twisted Karma in his last bow.
ホームズはパイプを手に窓の外に広がる濃い霧を見下ろしていた。この霧の底には一体いくつの事件が隠れているのだろうね。不思議な新聞広告から始まる奇想天外な事件。魔剣が闇をかける連続殺人事件に夜の墓場で蘇る死刑囚の事件。
Just remembering everything that happened in case 3 is just like, whoa.
誰も知らない町外れの小部屋のありふれた殺人事件。どんな事件もその裏側には誰も知らない物語が潜んでいる。僕を事件現場へと駆り立てるのはその物語なのだよ、ワトソン。早く帽子を取りたまえ。行こうじゃないか、相棒。僕たちの冒険は終わらない。さあ、ゲームの始まりだ。
Ooh, baby! Ooh! Eight days after that earth-shattering trial, and Cosmo regaining his memory. We were in the foyer. Is it foyer or foyer? I'm not exactly sure, especially during this time period. One of London's most luxurious hotels, the Hotel Bandel. I have the wrong one up, that's why. Okay. There we go. Professor Mikotoba is due to arrive at any moment. Oh, wow, look at this place. Fucking luxurious, aren't we? Get a little bougie? Aight. Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time. What's up? Dado hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised. Well, yeah, no kidding. Truth about Kazuma's father. He supposed my father knew that he was actually the mass murderer. The professor, you mean. That's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London together 6 years ago. 16 years ago, didn't they? Yes, that's true. I just want to wonder why. Or even if it is the actual truth. Because, Van Zieks did mention, that he was disappointed in us for only knowing that the professor killed, his brother, Clint Van Zieks. So that makes me think that, Clint's actual murderer wasn't the professor, but was someone else entirely. Either that, or the professor was actually Clint, and, Cosmo's father was actually pinned for the murders of the professor. That's my current theory, anyway. Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikotoba knew about Cosmo going missing in Hong Kong as well? Right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it. Probably means he knows, then, about Cosmo showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. Ah, there she is. Oh, it's fucking Chugoku! Ah, shit. Oh, and Mikotoba. I'm sorry, he didn't stand out at all with that fucking bowler hat on his head. It's just like, who? Whomst? I saw it was a fucking assistant of some sort, but no, his like entire presence is covered up just because he's so short compared to Jigoku, and he's just hiding his head of hair right there. Oh my god. And he's wearing a suit instead of his kimono. Hello, Susato. How are you? Very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe and sound. Oh, look at these two dapper specimens. Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas. It has. I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with steamships from Britain. Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man? God damn you! Naruhodo! I take from your expression that you can't quite place me. In that case, how about a little reminder, Seishido? A firm tap should do it. Yes. A firm tap? What? Here we go then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. No! Guilty! Ah! No! Fucking dead. Rip. Honestly, this is like the first time we've seen one of the judges actually have significance to the story. Right. Which I think is pretty fucking cool. Your Excellency! Hello, Judge Jigoku. How are you? It's been a long time. Good, you remember now. That really did the trick. Guilty! Okay, geez, this guy's character. Alright. Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time. So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symposium like this. Though really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Seishiro? What are you talking about, Eugen? Can you stop laughing and doing a number on my voice here? Of course, Judge Jigoku. You must complete the set. He's the other man who 16 years ago came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. He's the third visiting scholar. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took a rather long time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? Ah, I knew you were jealous. Sorry? Ministerial status? Yes, didn't you know? Seishido here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here on the study tour. Oh, well, thank you. Shit. Guilty as charged. Oh, okay, I'm not laughing anymore. Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks. Yeah, just look at that fucking bulging torso there. Oh, fuck, dude. Just, can I just touch your pecs a little bit? Just a little bit, like a little smidge. Ah, yes, now. Naruhodo. I received a telegram from Lord Vortex yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in the trial you were involved with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy. Yes, could you tell us any more about it? Let me guess. No. Just no. Also, here is my badge. Professor Mikotoba, I wonder, could I show you something? Oh, damn it. No gag. What a shame. Alright. Actually, I want to examine everything around here first. This is a bit luxurious here, so I want to see. Okay, candles. Look at that. It's a picture of the Crystal Tower. Oh, can't even look at the candles. What a fucking shame. Well, the Great Exhibition is one of Britain's most prestigious achievements in recent years. I wonder how tall it is. It really does represent the pinnacle of scientific achievement in so many ways. There's a 20-meter tall chimney on the bathhouse near my lodgings at Yuma University. The attendant there is always boasting that it's the tallest object in the neighborhood. I'm sure. Did you know that over the Channel in Paris, there's a tower that's 300 meters tall? What? Ow! I'm taller than the chimney at Yuma Soaking Hot Springs, is that? And if that's that tall, how does it draw up properly? The smoke will get stuck, surely! Just seeing Naruto astounded at such basic technology nowadays is, it's a sight. It's a sight. I don't think it's that sort of tower, Mr. Naruto. Alright, give me hint coins. I know this isn't Professor Layton, but give me them anyway. Alright, have you seen all those sparkling jewels up there? They must have gathered every gem in the world for that. Naruto, please. You can only be himbo for so long. It's called a chandelier, I believe. It's designed to provide elegant lighting in large, spacious rooms like this. They had to gather every gem in the world just to illuminate one room. Probably electric light bulbs that are actually throwing the light. If I tried to hang something like that from the ceiling of the office, it would be scraping on the floor. I think perhaps chandeliers aren't for you, Mr. Naruto. Yeah, just give him a candle and he'll be satisfied. Right. That desk is known as the hotel reception. Anyone wanting to spend the night has to report there to sign in for their stay. Oh, so do you think that's the head clerk behind the desk there? Naruto, wouldn't you already know this stuff based on your first night in London? After all, you checked into a very extravagant hotel yourself on accident. Alright. Yes, I'm sure it must be. Love to stay in a grand hotel like this for a little while, wouldn't you? Just to know what it's like. You already did! If the hotel fee was paid through our stipend, I'm afraid it might bankrupt our homeland. True. London gives the word expensive a whole new meaning. Alright. Can't even expect the flowers, Clown World. Alright. Look at those cases just left there on that trolley. Aren't they worried about thieves? I know I am. Well, I mean, they have people watching them all the time, so. Haven't you seen the porter over there? Don't worry, he's obviously keeping an eye on everything. Ah, so it's a trap, designed to catch any chancers who might be tempted. Yes, obviously. Oh, no, it's fucking this guy. Why'd the porter give me such a scathing look just now, do you suppose? Well, some might say you look a little suspicious with your jet black clothes. Not everyone clad in black is some sort of ninja with intent to steal, you know. But isn't he the guy who's supposed to be taking care of the fucking omnibuses or whatever? Why is he here? And I don't even see him anywhere. Oh well. Your journey from Japan. So, how's the voyage here? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards. But it wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago. No, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time, we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience. What, did you go all the way around the coast of fucking Africa to get there? Ah, so you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris. We did, yes, though only for one night. And yesterday evening, we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover. Just in time for the symposium, in fact. It starts tomorrow. It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father. It's thanks to Seishiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to ingratiate himself with Britain's Attorney General. Oh, Lord Vortex himself. Sure, that's why he was invited. And I suppose you could say something I'm something of an appendage by default. Speak for yourself, Eugene. You were close friends with the professor of forensic science at a major hospital. Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really. Oh, but could that have been Dr. Scythe? No, there's been a lot of wonder under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back. Ah, damn it. I accidentally switched it. My bad. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. That's 4x3. Okay, there we go. Alright. Cosmo's father, I suppose. Ah. Professor, the killer who took the lives of five members of the British aristocracy. It was actually Cosmo's father, wasn't he? That's correct. Genshin Asogi. Genshin? Genshin Impact! Oh no! I can't escape it! I'll never be free! No! Oh god. Please, keep microtransactions out of my Ace Attorney, please! You knew, I presume, Father? Yes. He was a close friend at the time. Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. It was a closed trial, so the public could never know the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland. But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father? No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness. However, I suspect he may have had his doubts. Oh, why was that? As you know, I tried to guide Kazuma growing up, as if he were my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said, I've decided. I want to travel to Great Britain and study there. Oh, so I'm guessing someone must have tipped them off. If I had to guess, probably Lord Vortex himself. Although, I don't know why. Hey, hey Onyx, how's it going, man? Alright, do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death? I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him. Not holding there. Alright. Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually. Oh? What? Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Cosmo has since turned up here in London working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zeeks. What? What? That's news to us! Wait, how? So, Lord Vortex's telegram neglected to mention that port then. Alright. Cosmo's reappearance. As you know, we both thought Cosmo had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. But he didn't die. He's alive, as you knew, didn't you, Father? In actual fact, no. Well, I did know that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. Sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to ascertain what had happened, but to no avail. But he's still alive, and here in London, you say. I never dared even to dream it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now. Well, it seems that he was suffering from amnesia. What? Amnesia? When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were. I see. He only gained his memory 8 days ago. This is unbelievable. Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord Vortex didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently. I don't think that would be the best idea. Right. I wonder how Cosmo's been these past few days. Would be wrong of us to go and visit him. Probably. He said he would contact us, so... we should probably just wait for him. This is a very sensitive situation for him. Right. Your time in Britain. That began 16 years ago now. It's distant memory, really. It was Eugene here, Genshin Asogi, and myself. We were the original 3. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Ocean voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you. 16 years ago, things were tough for their generation. Yeah. Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at Yume University at the time, you know, young lady. Yes, grandmother told me. He went to do research at a great London hospital to study autopsy, practically unheard of in Japan. Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground. Ugh, not more Tucker graves. Yeah, it's probably the same place that we were at before. Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons. Yeah. Not my cup of tea at all. Do you remember that Scottish prison governor? Barricade, his name was. He was a good man. No, I'm afraid I don't. Yes, but then of course in our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case. When Genshin was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders. I simply couldn't believe it. I'd known the man for years. I was a witness at the secret hearing and I tried to speak in his defense, but you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you? Oh, bruh. Well, suffice to say that after the trial, we were sent back to Japan. Yeah, no kidding. There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. Yeah. Probably some sort of conspiracy to set him up, I think. Well, if you'll excuse us now. Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible. Oh, yeah. Oopsie. Oh, hi. I'm so sorry. Shouldn't have held you up here for so long. I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here. So it's gone off at a run. Aw, man. Sorry, just give me a second. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. The dog was being a button. He was screaming upstairs. Alright. Yes, of course. Must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck. Naruhodo. I hope you'll keep an eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her, as you've obviously had been. Yes? Yes, father? Okay. Oh no, I mean, if anyone's looking after her, it's her looking after me. Well, I do appreciate you being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down. I mean, I'm not gonna deny. Not gonna deny it. Sorry? What do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour in Britain, as you know. The very year Susato was born. Yes, I heard. The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, sadly it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too. Oh, yeah, Susato hinted at something like that. It was a rather turbulent time at home. Oh, since Susato was raised by her grandmother, I assume that her mother passed giving birth to her, probably. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. Point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man. And it was then that Seishido offered me the opportunity to stay here in Great Britain. I was too worried about you to leave you behind. So perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London. So, that's what happened in a nutshell. That's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say. Yeah, okay. I completely understand, Professor. You guys want to go up to your room, or? One other thing, Naruhodo. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you. Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you? Well, the thing is, I'm so sorry that took so long. Oh, come on. Please don't have us ask for another favor and then fucking, and then he fucking gets axed just like Sogi. That'd fucking kill me. Alright, Mrs. Otto. Alright, now then, allow us to take your bags. Allow me to take your bags. One moment, if you please, Porter. Oh, is he gonna finish this conversation? Of course, sir. A machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. Quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense. Yeah, let's get a photograph with all of us. Yes, of course. Look how fucking stuck up Naruhodo is. Alright. Oh, no, that's great. That's great. I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. Really made Father very happy, I think. Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before. Yeah, instead of waiting next time, perhaps we could, like, just knock on his door later tonight and just ask him what it was about. Professor Mikotoba was about to ask me something. Shall we return to Baker Street, then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us. Yes, let's go. But then I'll be back. And he won't get axed before I can ask him what he meant. Getting more and more anxious about Cosmo, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Vortex later and ask after him. Alright. Move. New location's been added. Alright, so we could just go to the Chief Justice's office, Home's a Suite, and back to our room. Let's stop by Lord Chief Justice. Why not? It's probably empty, but why not? Oh, it is not empty. It is very not empty. 1st November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Fanseek's doing here? Should we go say hi, or should we just, like, stay in the corner and look as meek as possible? My, seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say? The place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, they've seen us. My apologies. I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me. Oh, thank you. Oh, no. It's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come in here. No, that's a Sogi's job. Alright. Wait, is Sogi wearing white? I don't remember what his new outfit is. I thought it was white. Or maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. Alright, now then, Miss Naruhodo. Yes, my lord, I'm right here. Kill me now! Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature. If you're sure, the beads of sweat covering their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. Please, you're not supposed to notice those. Because the daggers are staring at me with mainly. As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madame. Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited. I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands then, Lord Van Zieks. I will attend at once. Hey. Hey there, Daddy. How's it going? Gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? I know, but I haven't done anything, have I? These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. A dedication right hand in many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand so service? Fucking... Fucking Naruto, that's not what he means! Mr. Naruhodo, he's talking about Dr. Scythe. Ah, of course. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just, Fear not. You've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further. That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. Lord Van Zieks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday. Ah. Oh, missing. Let's become a Cosmo now. Should we ask you about Cosmo, or should we just leave it alone? The thing behind that desk must make you feel so important, don't you think? Oh, no, we already heard all this. Okay. Yes, toilet, haha, funny. Okay. Yep. There we go. Forensic Science Symposium. Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million. 30 million? Are there even that many people in the world? As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital Tokyo is 2 million. Yeah. I'll be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making. 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries. Sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations. The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques, and cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here, at the heart of our great British Empire, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World. He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something. Yeah. You're every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo. More like passion, not keeping my desk tidy. I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. Yeah. Why the forensic investigation team, though? Like, they've just been a pain in our side more than anything. Right. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally, to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department. Yeah, excuse me. And can you not do that now? Well, with Dr. Scythe out of the picture, it's probably a lot more difficult, yes? Obviously. Nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep the story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say. Unintended repercussions of our trial. I think that's more so Dr. Scythe's fault than your own. They simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though. Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. I admire his dedication, at least. About Lord Van Zeek's apprentice. Yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends. How did you become apprentice to Lord Van Zeek's in the first place? Came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel. Oh my, so he stowed away to get here. He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zeek's. That way I could keep an eye on him. But then, why the mask? I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zeek's with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice, because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask. Honestly, it would be. It honestly would be. He's proven to be great help to Lord Van Zeek's. I have high hopes for his future. By the way, do you know where he's gone? No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being. Oh. Well, if you've gone back to Japan, that put a little bit of damper on things. I take it you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, Genshin Osogi. Alright. Well, Vortex probably shouldn't know that we also know who he is, so I'm surprised he's just letting it all out like this. What we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was... yes, Genshin Osogi. Professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain. They were such awful murders, and unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon. And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. Yeah. The true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London. Main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand. Correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause. What? Supporters of a mass murder? Yeah, I think there was clearly some corruption going on behind the scenes that would motivate the professor to do such a thing. Majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. So a fair few thinkers in London believed, anyway. Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? Murder is murder, I suppose. Talk to people in the military, and they might not be so hot on your ass. Alright. I mean, and they will be hot on your ass. Alright. Seems very similar, doesn't it? The idea of the Reaper at the Bailey. I guess. Should I present something? Can I show you this? No. Okay. Alright, well, do I just leave then? Like, is that it? Is there nothing else to examine around here? I mean, I suppose. Yeah, it's just... Yeah, nothing here. Well, shit. I guess out we go. Back to our room. 1st November, Naruto's legal consultancy. Alright. Please, tell me about the spade and shovel argument. The spade is still here, look. Please, Mr. Naruto. It's not a spade, as I think you well know. It's a shovel. It didn't take long to reignite that old argument. Ah, I have an idea. Let's give the implement a name, like Professor Dobenbow named his tools. Oh! Sure. Oh, I never thought of doing that. Now on then, let's call it Ryunosuke. Why? I'm not that much of a tool! No, it's clearly much more of a Susanoo. The old argument has taken a new and unexpected turn, it seems. Yes, new life into an old argument. Whenever you stir me tea, it always takes me back to Japan. I know you're not particularly fond of the bitter taste, are you? But I do always try to pick out less bitter matcha for you. She does often serve up an unusually mellow blend, it's true. But the anticipation of the taste in my mouth makes me bitterly worried anyway. Yeah, I'm not much of a fan of tea myself, or coffee for that matter. I don't really like bitter things. Right. It is very difficult for you, isn't it? Right. Show me the flames of hell. Alright, the steam is rising gently from the kettle as always. Yes, it doesn't feel right somehow unless it is. But the steam is an unusual scent today. Perhaps the sweet potatoes I brought back from Japan with me already. How are you supposed to make that sound effect? Like, I mean, in front of a microphone, just like that, or Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, I heard that, you know. Tears of joy, Mr. Sato, from my mouth. Alright. The Daduma doll is still winking at me. Look. Wonder when he'll finally get his other eye filled in. Yes, I wonder. Well, you should know, Susanoo. I entrusted the task to you. Truth is, I've already decided when that will be. What? Really? When? When we leave, most likely. That's my little secret. Alright. You see, I've been keeping my desk beautifully covered in papers as always. Really must tell you it all up, Mr. Naruhodo. No more excuses. But Mr. Sato, the way I see it, all these papers building up on my desk like this are a reminder of my wonderfully diverse daily life. I'd like to leave them as they are, so I never forget how lucky I am to have such varied experiences. Pretty sure we've seen this dialogue before, but still good, so I'm reading it anyway. In that case, you definitely should have a thorough tidy. Then you'll be able to see your papers building all up over again and feel that joy renewed. No. How else am I gonna keep all these memories with me? Still can't beat her in an argument, even though I'm the lawyer here. Alright. Please, let me inspect the carpet. I have to unroll it all over here. Okay. My desk is just as it was before I left. Give me ink and a calligraphy brush, even though we're in England now. That strikes me as typically you, Mrs. Sato, and typically not you at the same time. Well, I do enjoy all the wonderful new things to come out of the West in the Cultural Revolution, of course. But I'm not ready to give up my brush just yet. And anyway, Suzawa can write more neatly with a brush than most people can with a pen. Practice makes perfect, as they say. Yeah. Although a pen doesn't require nearly as much training as a calligraphy brush does. Is the aquarium doing well? All the sea life seem very content in there, I must say. Ah! Let us down! Please! Yep, just as content as always. Ah! I know something recently, actually. The anemones breed at most extraordinary rate. Oh, really? It's a mystery why the whole seabed isn't buried in a mountain of them, actually. Oh, how splendid. There really is a mystery, isn't it? Well, I'm guessing because of overpopulation it would cause a lot of problems. And I think that the anemones kind of have a inclination to avoid that. I wish there was someone here to explain Suzawa's strange reaction to that. Please, let me in! Let me in! Your room across the hall is undisturbed, of course. I don't suppose they're permitted to see inside now that you're back, though, would I? You know very well that only Iris is allowed inside. Yes, I heard you two giggling there again last night. You can visit Mr. Holmes in his room, Mr. Naruhodo. Last time I did that, he tried to convince me to drink some strange concoction he mixed up. Actually, I don't even know where Mr. Holmes' room is. Where is it? Like, do they just live downstairs, just in the middle of it all? Alright. Holmes' suite, let's go. Alright, 1st of November, Holmes' suite. Is that Mr. Holmes or an alarm? A man screaming in a most unflattering way. Yeah, that sounds like Holmes. Do you think could it have been Mr. Holmes? Oh my, I do hope not. I don't do it anymore. Oh, who are you, lovely chaps? Mon ami, mon ami. Stop this disgraceful display, huh? Who are these people? Look at their hair. It's bright red. Like, could they be like Danish or something? I think there must be clients in Mr. Holmes. Oh, and Gina here. Right, you two. You're coming with me now. Down to the clink. No, not in prison. It is dark and damp, but I don't like it. Boff, the darkness, it is my friend. I am not scared. But you're always scared in the dark. Shut your mouth, you idiot. I'll sit quietly in the dark and play our next daring heist. Oh, heist now. I don't like this. I don't like it. Well, tough. We'll finish this down the yard. Now get moving. Bye then, Gene Bean. Have fun. Alright. Oh yeah, thanks, Iris. And thanks. Yeah, great detective. Oh boy, what have they gotten themselves involved in now? Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she? Oh, Susie and Ryu. Hello, Iris. We're home. Yeah, never mind the fact that we just went straight past you, went upstairs and checked everything, and then came back down. Well, did you find your daddy? Oh, yeah, Mikatoba, right. Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well, that's great news. I hope we'll get to see my daddy again soon. Susanna, when do we tell her? When do we tell her? It's tearing me apart. Yes, of course. Dr. John H. Watson. So, Iris, all that remains now is the greatest of problems known to man. Holmes, what'd they do to you? What have they done? But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order, don't you, my dear fellows? Holmes, what have they done to you? Are you ill? Is something wrong, Mr. Naruto? Do I have a crumb or such like on my face? Not so much on your face as on your head, I'd say. Come along then, everyone. I brewed a lovely special blend. Time for tea. Well, actually, why are we so surprised that their hair is red when Iris has fucking pink? Her hair is pink. Whatever's going on here today. In that case, let us sit and drink now. For I am, in fact, expecting a guest later today. Oh boy. Let's just ignore that for now and just inspect literally everything else. I do like the fireplace. It's one of the best things I've seen since we arrived in the country, in fact. Although, I do yearn for... Oh wait, yeah, we've already had this. Yep, terrible burns. Yep. Stradivarius. Famous violin. Yep. Stradivarius. Okay, is anything gonna be different? Yeah, great analytoscope. Who's with the pawnbroker? Don't pawn everything on my desk. Yeah, I think that's everything here. Alright, chemistry apparatuses, books, papers, and lots of things I haven't seen before. It's all heaped up so high. Yep. Might topple and doesn't. Yep. And Suzawa on my ass again about my tidiness and not Holmes's. Okay. Wait. Why is Cosmo's mask there? Why the fuck is his mask there? My eye is always drawn to the big metal chest that Mr. Holmes and Iris use as a coffee table. Isn't that where Iris keeps her very important papers? It is. So you'd think that they'd treat it with more care, really. But only the other day I saw Mr. Holmes kick it. Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah. Was damaged. The chest was fine. Mr. Holmes was doubled up on the floor for almost 10 minutes. Yep. And why is Cosmo's mask here? Mask Cosmo wore when he was assigned to Lord Van Zieks as his apprentice. When he cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up. I see. Gotta give it back to him, I suppose. But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? And I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself. But isn't he your best friend? Clearly he's, not in the best shape. It looks like last week's edition. What's the article circled in red ink there? It's an advertisement column. It says, The Red-Headed League. The Red-Headed League. I don't want to ask. Oh no, I never heard of it before, but... Holmes. It's something on my face. Clearly this has something to do with that lively hair. Did hair dyes exist back then? Or is this Holmes coming up with another invention here? Oh yes, Mr. Holmes' curious collection of trinkets from the various mysteries he solved. It's one of my favorite parts of this room, full of items with such exciting tales to tell. I do believe he's added to it since I've last looked. Now there's a mysterious pince-nez, a mysterious little box, a mysterious horseshoe, a mysterious biscuit. And that last one might just be one of Iris's unfinished snacks. Yeah, alright. Done. God, there's so much to fucking examine here. There's this pretty little tea set set out beautifully as ever. Look. Well, it's only by carefully taking care of a tea set that you can make good tea. Is that a roundabout way of telling me I need to tidy my desk? Oh, Mr. Naruto, you do overthink things at times. No, it definitely is. Blackboard is where Iris scribbles down her latest ideas, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, she seems to have drawn a lot of little stick figures all lined up. Look. Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay. Yeah, basically all of this is the same. Collection of potions and chemicals, little ribbons, deadly poison, yep. Okay. Typewriter. Yep. And ruining the dreaminess, yep. Okay. Yeah, that's everything here. Okay. Alright. Let's get this over with. Okay. Your two visitors. Mr. Holmes, who are the two gentlemen that were here before? Oh, just a pair of petty criminals. Nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manners of infractions. That's not a thing that you should be willing to admit, Holmes. when the mood takes you. All manner of infractions. Murder is okay, Mr. Nodohodo. When such fellows set their sights on Mr. Sherlock Holmes, well, that's when their luck runs out. Oh my, you are the target of a crime, Mr. Holmes. I quickly devised a plan to trap them and deliver them to our young detective ally. Should have asked Toby to come too. We could have had an arresting tea party. Well, I think Toby might be in Paris by this point. Well, actually, no, he must be getting ready for their trip to Paris, because Gina's still here. I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man's consummately in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Yeah, avoiding you. That's what it seems like. Aha, I have it! A bungler, that's the word. It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. So those redheads have been up to no good. I wonder what the men did. Probably robbed him, I'm sure. The greatest problem. What was that about the greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before? Is it another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Holmes? How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance? Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere. Possibly. It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now. According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops. Wait, what? We were apes? Indeed, and from the very moment these apes descended from the canopy to live as humans, it's been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man. Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Holmes? Why, is it not obvious, my dear madame? The problem of reds! Of course! Naturally! How could I have suspected anything different from you? Naruhodone Sasuga, Mr. Holmes-san. But, do you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Rosake only the other day? Yeah, let me guess, you redeemed it for the analytoscope. Pshaw, a large sum! One potted herb for Iris and a new boat car for me later, and all biz quite disappeared, I assure you. Why do you need a car? Honestly, Holmesy, you know you squandered it. Yes, well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem, for the coming month at least. And what was the answer? Why, there's a substantial clue before your very eyes. Please don't tell me you're gonna pawn Cosmo's mask. Alright, don't tell me, let me see. Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what is in front of their noses. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There's one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice in the end, I think. Oh no, he's gonna fucking rob the redheads. In the end. It's been stabbing me in both eyes right from the very beginning of our conversation. I'm surprised he was able to dye his eyebrows as well. I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Narho. No, I think we've got it right now, Mrs. Otto. You don't need to point it out. Alright, thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if the charade goes on much longer. Alright, the lie you sold. Mr. Holmes, this is about time you told us the truth. Just over a week ago, you said to us. I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. Is this really the time for this, Mr. Naruhodo? Please address the hair first. I mean, the elephant in the room. The red hair in the room. That case aboard the SSL Claire in January. Cosmo wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on? I guess that explains why Mr. Holmes thought to bail us out in the first place. Because, well, he was pinning a murder on us that didn't even happen. So... the fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew. But how? After they carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse. How horrible. It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course. But why? Why do it in the first place? I'll be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events. What events? Disappearance in Hong Kong. Oh. I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment. Mr. Holmes. Well, I mean, I'm just wondering why Sogi thought to come to London in the first place, and why he wasn't just flaying around in Hong Kong for the time being. That's what confuses me right now. Should I present him the paper, of course? It looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Holmes. Red-Headed League. Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe, just a little bit. Just, I don't know. I may be wrong, but it might be related. To your bright red hair. So, at last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Naruhodo. No, I think we've noticed from the start. Sorry? In the first instance, I'm quite indispensable. Observation. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut. So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits. Actually, I should probably inspect the newspaper before I get in here. Alright, so the Red-Headed League. On account of the bequest of the late Ezekiah Hopkins of Lebanon, Pennsylvania, USA, there is another vacancy open which entitles a member of the League to a salary of £4 a week from purely nominal services. All red-headed men who are sound in body and mind and above the age of 21 years are eligible. Apply in person on the morning at the 31st at the Large Park on Lime Street. Get £4 per week if you are a redhead. Most fantastic money-making opportunity. Oh boy. So, Mr. Holmes is gonna go experiments using frauded hair. Okay. Okay. And just looking at everything else around here. Something about smallpox, using only boiled water. Something about laissez-faire. Yeah. Yeah, nothing else important. So then. Oh, okay. Regale or boast? Yeah, boast about your scamming opportunities. There was the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you've circled. You noticed it in the paper, then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment. It was. How? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me. But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. Oh my, £4 a week? But why? What are they paying people for? That, I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement. Yeah, you're gonna get it fucking experimented on left in a dark alley, Holmes. Surely every redhead person in the country would be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once. So will I. Just on the off chance. That might be stretching a point, I think. Well, I mean, I can see Iris maybe getting it, because she has pink hair, but sure. The trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can. But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away. No. Holmes, please don't tell me you murdered someone just to get £4 a week. Hair dye is literally stonks, yeah. It wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Holmes. So you decide to try and join in this place. Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow? No. So why? Why did it have to go so wrong? Oh boy. Alright. Fine. Tell me about it, Holmes. Tell me about it. Where did he go? Where did you go wrong? What on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo, though it pains me to admit it. Oh no, who could have possibly seen this coming? Your blunder. What'd you actually do with your hair, Mr. Holmes? I'm glad you asked, Mr. Zato. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight by the wonders of chemistry. Please don't tell me you bathed in fucking copper. Chemistry. I was conducting some research to do a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. In the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that, when taken, turns one's hair aflame like red. Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. I think I'll pass. I'm pretty sure that's probably poisonous in some way, Holmes. But, Mr. Holmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it? Amateurs are always hampered by such fears. Oh, I should never doubt you, Mr. Holmes. You mean to say, of course it isn't safe. But of course! To earn 4 pounds a week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger. Oh. Oh boy. Oh boy. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely. So anyway, Holmesy left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair. At the park on Lime Street, where the red-haired lead were interviewing prospective new members. So what went wrong? The whole park was choked with redhead folk, like a coaster's orange barrel. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front. But when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?" Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're a little too recognizable, my guy. So naturally, I had no choice but to reply, "Shh, don't give me away." After which, I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, while I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair to the police. Oh. Oh, did you just turn them in for absolutely nothing? Oh dear, what a disaster. Holmesy and those were 2 redheads. Father. Is that also Mr. Holmes, or is it someone else? Ah, here's my guest now, my latest client, with money to spend. Oh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Holmesy. Remember, Iris, we are at present griped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating. Save locating a runaway, of course. Are you gonna be trying to locate a Sogi here? Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you? Oh dear, I'm afraid that Holmesy can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due. Oh, it's this lady from the fucking jury! Mr. Holmes, oh, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, please, oh, please. Please find my husband, he's run away. All right. Okay. Very well then. It's upset me. I beg your pardon. Never mind, a personal matter, my apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhiro? I haven't said anything! Come, my dear madame, be seated. I wish some tea, if you please. Of course. What's the matter, Mrs. Otto? Though I can probably guess what it is. Oh, it's just that gentleman woman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before, very recently. Yes, now you come to mention it. Well, how recent we talk about? How long ago was that case? Anna. Explained earlier, my name is Anna Middlemont. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object, simply name your figure. Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madame. Being offered a case to solve is reward enough, says the man whose rent is due. Oh, Mr. Holmes, you have the picture of benevolence. I'll, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you'll remember your words, also. If I might inquire, sir. This gentleman and lady would be? Oh, me. I'm about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand? Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me. Ah, I see. I can vouch for the gentleman personally. After all, he's hard of hearing. You may be right, but just shut up. Shut up. All right, why'd I ever get my hopes up? All right, give me a sec. Oh. Okay. What could you possibly have? Tell us. All right, Mrs. Middlemont. Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Middlemont, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps? Oh my. Pshaw, my dear fellow, what's your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion. No. Is that possible? That you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week? Oh, Holmes. Holmes. You pay rent weekly! You pay rent weekly! You're getting scammed, homie. Ah, I knew I recognized her. Alright. Yep, I remember. I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now. Is she acting so differently? Really? Must be very difficult for you, Zalur. Being hard of hearing, I mean. Hey! Pardon? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was frippery, really. Nothing more. Now look where you've started, Mr. Holmes. Thank you very much. I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner. Yes. Yes, Daddy. Hey, Mr. Middlemont. Okay. Tell us about your husband, madame. Mr. Middlemont, my Avery Day is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here. Okay. Entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least. How long have you been married? It'll be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship, and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably. Oh, a trophy wife, I see. As it would appear. I need only look at you to know these things. Oh gosh. Hey, that's kind of rude, Holmes. Just the latest style. Your hat clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct? That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather dotes on me. Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or other. Oh, that's exactly what I fear must have happened, Mr. Holmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will? Why, does he work for the police or the prosecutor's office or something? What exactly is your husband's line of work? He's a warder at the prison. Alright. Yeah, that'd do it. A guard. That is somewhat unusual. Alright, jail warder. So, your husband's a prison warder. That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder. Ah, that makes more sense. His income seems a little too extravagant for a normal jail warder. Indeed, I see. Well, chief prison warrior certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation. Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out. Ah, that's a little bit more specialized. Dreadful punishments. Does she mean capital punishments? At such times, you must occasionally spend a night or two in the prison dormitory. But for that extra responsibility, he's remunerated more handsomely than the other warders. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors. Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged? Barclay Jail, Mr. Holmes. Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. What, have you been there yourself, Holmes? I can't say I'm surprised. If I'm not mistaken, there's a large cemetery just behind it. Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery. Yeah, the same one that the professor was doing. So, actually, assuming that this executioner was, doing the same work like 16 years ago, then, it's quite possible that he was the one who staged the execution of the professor, and of course, he would have something to do with it. So, that's probably what this is all has to do with about. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, my dear fellow, and yet undeniable. Sorry, Mr. Holmes, I'm afraid you've lost me. Ah, pay no heed, madame, pay no heed. A private matter. This can't really be a coincidence, can it? Nope, it probably has something to do with the professor. Husband's disappearance. So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance, when did you realize he was missing? Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday. Sorry? Yesterday. That really is recent. Laughably so. The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all out of the ordinary for him not to return home at night. But this is different. For him not to make any contact for a whole day. This certainly never happened before. Madame, I would probably wait another, like, day or two. Or if you would ask around the jail and see if they've seen him. Oh, my dear, every day. Whatever could have happened. My dear Mrs. Middleman, please, calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police? Why, naturally. But sadly, they refused to listen to my pleas as my husband has only been missing for 1 day. I was asked to wait patiently at home. Yeah, no kidding. True, Mrs. Middlemont, I concur with the police. However, let's not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway. Yeah, sure. Why don't we just leave her and get the money anyway? Let's just scam her out of her fucking income. Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That really is all there is to it. You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention. Oh boy. You seek only to put this sweet's rents in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it. Why don't you just fucking buy this house from them, Mr. Holmes? Like, clearly you're making enough from each case, as long Assuming you're not, like, fucking spending it instantly on fucking motor cars. Okay. Thank you for everything you've shared with us, Mrs. Middlemont. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation. Oh, please report to me soon with good news, sir. Fear not, madame. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm sure. So soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Holmes. Your news should be delivered early, as I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession. Alright. He appears to have no particularly distinctive facial features. No, but he does have that kind of tufty hair, which is a bit odd. Thank you. Now allow me to show you the door. I can't thank you enough, Mr. Holmes. You've been simply marvelous. Alright, but how is this gonna deal into the greater narrative here? Okay. No, I think it's every time, Holmesy. Why, how do you come out with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two? Are you sure? I can't be sure, of course, but then I didn't swear on it. I'm merely giving the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her some good news one night, say. Of course, you can always disappoint her later by telling her that's taken longer than you thought. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of the day tomorrow. If by that time I've successfully located Mr. Middlemont, we shall be mutually relieved. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Don't look at me with those pleading eyes. I don't think those are pleading. More so, expectant. Not expectant either. Well, I guess just looking for praise, I suppose. Alright. Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case? Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually. Excellent. And what did you make of it? Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Barclay Jail, I mean. Ah, so you noted that. Well, how could I not have noted that? Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery. Lowgate Cemetery is the rear of Barclay Jail. So it was renowned among its students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts. Great. Barclay Jail is where that notorious man was incarcerated. Professor. And now a warder from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem. It's all very peculiar. Indeed, but nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo. Hey, this is your job, not mine. Sorry. Run along to the prison and see what you can glean. Would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the man is equally worthy. But aren't you going to go yourself? Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen out with this hair. Okay, that is kind of fair, but at the same time, just dye your hair back. You can dye your hair back. You know you can. But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair? That was quite different matter. So I leave it in your capable hands. No, excuse me, I'm rather busy. Bruh. Bruh. That's all I have to say. Of course you are. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break here. I need to go to the bathroom, so we'll be back in quite a hot second, and I'll see you in a minute. Alrighty, I am back. Hello. He's spending it on English classes? How else do you think he learned to talk like that? Obviously! Oh, it makes so much sense now! Oh man. How else could Mr. Holmes have learned English? What, you think he just learned it while growing up? No, of course not. Of course he had to spend it on learning English classes. That's exactly the reasoning of people who get an English degree. Do. Honestly though, if you're getting an English degree and, English is your first language, like, bro, what are you doing? Alright, new location's been added. Right, and we've certainly seen everything in the Justice's office, however, he didn't excuse himself, so we probably have something else that we have to do there. Alright. The jail governor's office, I suppose. Barclay Jail is in the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Its four high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we're shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. Oh! Well, okay then. This is, certainly something. The clock with the guillotine is certainly charming. Ah.
This place is full of hardened criminals. I can't even remember the last time a civilian was doing here. He didn't want to talk to an inmate, but to me.
Oh, look at this fucking specimen.
Do you ken who I am? I'm the governor, Harry Barricade.
Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer.
An Easterner, I see. Does that mean...
Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan.
Japan? Did you say Japan?
Yes?
There's no way you're kind here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh?
Wow. Wow, okay. Fuck you. Fuck you too, pal. I didn't know it's another prison next door, sir. Anyway, we came to ask you some...
I didn't like to be so direct, but... I have no intention of speaking with the likes of you suspicious-looking Easterners.
Wow.
Now get on me here.
So as soon as he finds out we're from Japan, he reacts like this. That surely means... I think it's because of the professor case. Yeah, probably. You think so too? 10 years ago, Genshin Isogi, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. Then, after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison.
I might have known. You sniffed around built your case, aren't you? You're agents, eh? Part of the Professor's great web, no doubt.
No, not at all. We're just...
Get going with you before I punch your light to it.
We're going. Clearly the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not going to get anywhere here. Unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us. Why does this guy have a mechanical auto guillotine? He's just really passionate about his work, you know? Governor Barricade. What are you thinking, Mr. Zato? I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently somewhere. Yeah. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us. Come think of it, I have the same feeling. Alright. Guess we have got to fucking go back to Hotel Bandle. See Mikotoba. Hey, there he is, my main man. He isn't dead yet. We can ask what he meant. That's Professor Mikotoba over there.
Ah, hello you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked.
But where's Judge Jigoku?
Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taking himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs.
Having only just arrived in the country today. Goodness, he is full of energy. Professor, you mentioned something before. About how you'd known the prison governor of Barclay Jail.
Oh, Governor Barricade, you mean?
So it is the same man. Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners.
Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story.
Oh, would you? That'd be wonderful, if you have time now.
Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment.
Yeah, and that's fair. We should let him relax. Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee.
No, I have a rather lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know.
Oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I? You Mikotobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts. Or could it be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts? I think it's both ways. I think it's a little bit of A, a little bit of column B.
Let's not fall out now. I have an idea.
Let me guess, writes in a letter of introduction? What's he writing on that piece of paper?
Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune.
Ah, thank you. Hey, let's see.
Good luck then.
Okay. But can we at least talk? What did you want me to know? Please. All right. Can I see what's written on it? Professor Mikotoba has wonderful handwriting, doesn't he? I don't know. I can't read it, so. Right.
This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy.
Is it just me, or does that make me sound extremely untrustworthy? I do wish he'd at least call you a nice young man. I'm really not sure that would help. Anything on the back? Back? Bird line. Did he write this on the back of his fucking ticket? Oh, looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Ballabrook, first class cabin 01. Yokohama departure, 11th of September, London arrival, 1st of November. Ah, it's about that Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku came from Japan, isn't it? Yes, I think he called at Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving in Dover. I think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Claire. Seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think? Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary. And I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh, well, how strange. Where could it have gone? Oh, boy. Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo? Honestly, it could seem like it sometimes. I imagine it was that comment accompanied by a little sigh. Okay. Well, the fact that it was written on the back of his ticket could tell him that, hey, Mikotoba is here now. Anyway. Letter of introduction. You just cast your eyes over this, Governor Barricade.
What's this then? You can't pull the wool over my eyes, you good for nothing Japanese student. Mikotoba. That young jock from the forensics laboratory. That Mikotoba?
Yes, exactly. Him. Oh dear. Perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Eugene Mikotoba's daughter, Susato.
Diggs, you're the young man's daughter. And didn't think to mention that before.
I do apologize.
Aye, well, you best take a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps? And don't forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits.
He's got fucking handcuff biscuits. Oh boy, that I actually really like to try those. Father's influence is nothing short of amazing. I'm barely regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now.
So then, what can I do for you, Ann?
Well, we're currently investigating a case. One of your worries, you see. He's gone missing.
Missing?
That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor.
I haven't heard nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison.
Oh, but how can that be? Has he really just been here the entire time? It's Mr. Avery Day Middlemont, your chief warder.
Middlemont?
That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Clearly that means something to him. You'd be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir.
Aye, of course.
Alright. Actually, let's investigate everything around here now, because I'm pretty sure he'll be willing to let us snoop around. An axe, a hunting rifle, and 4 pairs of handcuffs. That's a daunting collection. Impressive, too.
There's a story behind every one of those.
You mean the rifle was a famous killer's murder weapon,
And the axe was wielded by an infamous executioner, and the handcuffs were once used to immobilize a fierce 4-legged beast when it was arrested.
No, please. It can only take so much. I think you're in the real realms of fantasy now, Mr. Naruhodo.
Not those kinds of stories, Jimmy. That axe was the one I used to chop down the cherry tree at my house. Mrs. Barricade wasn't a bit pleased. And the cuffs on the left are the ones I caught my first burglar with back when I was a bubby. Hey!
Stories were a little different to those you imagined, I think, weren't they? Yes, to my relief, in some small way, my disappointment. I think Mr. Holmes is rubbing off on Naruhodo a little bit too much here. This sounds a little bit dangerous on his part. His grandfather clock is fitted with a terrifying blade that keeps dropping down.
It's modeled on the guillotine, a French execution device. You may have heard of it. And yes, before you ask, it can chop.
Heads off, you mean?
Hammers, no, carrots and parsnips and so forth.
Oh.
He placed a large carrot at the bottom there in the morning. By evening, it'll have been cut clean in two.
By evening? That's certainly a very dull blade. Well, the blade must have had an almost indescribable edge on it then. Yeah, an indescribably dull edge. All right. Oh, you want a cracker? I never have expected to find a parrot in a prison. Must be the governor's pet. Quack! Don't forget DL6! Quack! Even where we are, it's hard not to see the poor creature as a prisoner. Don't forget DL6! Quack! Why does this thing keep mentioning DL6? What? Oh shit. Wrong Naruto. Sorry. But for someone later down the line. Quack! Alright. Given where we are, it's hard not to see the poor creature as a prisoner. Let me out! Dana, kill me! Let me out! Alright. Has the bird learned to mimic the plaintive cries of the inmates in the cells? Oh, no. He was one of 3 siblings, you see. And he still calls them the names of 2 brothers like that old time. His 2 brothers are let me out and didn't kill anyone. Alright. Fashionable and functional. Yeah, that's functional in many ways, it seems. Except for the fact that it's missing its clock hands, so I guess it's not that functional in multiple ways. All it really is good for is just swinging that blade over and over into parsnips. Right. They will! Did you kill me? I hear you, laddie. You want your dinner, eh? Didn't do it. Name's fucking didn't do it. Okay. If I'm going silent for a second, it's because I'm eating crackers. I didn't get breakfast this morning. That's a very large cabinet full of papers, isn't it? It's labeled inmate register, look. All the files are in alphabetical order. There's 50 years with the records of Barclay's inmates. Whether they know they lived alive after serving their term. All the details about the crimes they committed are recorded in there, like an epitaph, you might say. A record of crimes and punishments. How dispiriting. And yep, this man seems to be enjoying tea and biscuits as he talks about it. Well, I mean, if he didn't enjoy this work, he wouldn't be here. Also, I like how this man has a fucking bent grill as one of his pins there. Solid. Solid fashion there. Alright. Guess let's look at the deer? That deer's been staring at me for a while now. It has. The poor thing can't fit through the small hole in the wall, but it can't get its head back out again either now. Oh, Hodo, please. Give me a woefully imploring look. Don't tell him. Don't ruin the fantasy, Susato. It's not real, Mr. Naruhodo. It's stuffed. What? I mean, yes, of course it is. For a moment, I thought it was another assassin sneaking in via the ventilator. Another one? I don't like to say, but I think perhaps you need to reread The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Oh boy. And let me guess, all the previous wardens up there? I suppose they're all former governors of Barclay Jail, are they? Either that or former inmates who the governor has sent to the gallows. Oh dear, they all have such severe expressions I couldn't deny either possibility. Do you think they've only killed 7 people here? Only? Especially the one on the extreme right. His expression goes beyond severe into a whole new territory. That one's me. I'm terribly sorry, sir. It's a prerequisite of the job, perhaps. Having a severe expression, I mean. Of course it's not. Although, it is taken into consideration. A lot. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. No, first, we have to properly introduce ourselves. Armband. What's that there, then? It's actually the sign of a Japanese defense lawyer. Well, if you have to wear something like that to prove who you are. Perhaps I should wear these handcuffs, eh? No. Yeah, I think the pin on your lapel is fine enough. I think maybe they're more of a sign of the people you catch than you yourself. Aye, that's true. You got me there, Hen. They're not actually a sign of anything, are they? Well, I'm glad he sees it. Alright, let's show him the photograph of Mr. Middleman here. Nope. Clearly he doesn't have anything to say about it. Alright. Let's converse then. Chief Warder Middleman. We understand that Mr. Middleman is the chief warder here at the prison. Aye, that he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job. No doubt about it. He's a fine warder. Sorry, did you say was? Aye, he doesn't work here no more. He left the job. Oh! Oh my. When was this exactly? Here's a question. When it was about, can't have been much less than, let me guess, yesterday? 10 years ago now. What? 10 years ago? You stopped working here 10 years ago?
I isn't minded. You know, Ken, I haven't heard the fellow's name in all that time. That's a worry if he's gone missing, though. But Mrs. Middleman had made no mention of it. I think perhaps Mr. Naruhodo, that his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here. Governor Barricade, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Middleman give up his job here? Let me guess, because of the professor case. That's important, is it? Yes, I believe it may be. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? I can't stop wondering, given that was 10 years ago. Which is exactly when the professor was being held at this prison. Alright, 10 years ago. So Mr. Middlemont actually resigned from the position of chief warder 10 years ago, you're telling us. What happened to make him leave the job? Yeah, let me guess. The false execution? In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter. You mean, he was dismissed? It was after a particular walk. Sorry? A walk? Aye, that's a word for it here. A walk to the gallows. An execution. It's job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see. Only, Middleman did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning. Let me guess, he let him go free, huh? What'd he do? Sorry, but I can't reveal that information. But I can tell you that it's very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of his post. But why wouldn't Mrs. Middleman know about it? She appeared to be under the impression that her husband still works here. I wouldn't get know about that, I'm afraid. Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal? And what would that be in? That last execution that Mr. Middleman was responsible for overseeing. Was it by any chance the professor's? My thoughts exactly. Sorry, I really am, but I'm at no liberty to answer that. So that's a yes then. I see. Then Professor Migtoba then? My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted. Dead room, the prison and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, they need fresh corpses for forensic research. Do you ken? What does he mean by ken? I don't understand what kind of accent he's supposed to be given here. Is it like Scottish? Is it Cockney? Is it something? I don't know. I haven't heard it before. Yes, I can imagine. The advancement in medical science isn't always particularly palatable. Father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard. Excuse me. In the basement of St. Anstrud. It's still in use today. St. Anstrud. It's come up before, I'm sure. When did it come up again? I'm pretty sure it did. Back in case 3, but I'm not sure exactly when. Yes, that's right. We've been there. Migtoba and I have to use the riding carriage together and negotiate terms. For more fresh material, I suppose. Aye, we just sit in here for hours and gab on about section and all sorts. Oh, it takes me back. Oh, party and to play cuff biscuits, of course. Fucking cuff biscuits. Alright. How charming. You good, bro? He was a good fellow, your father. Reliable. Dead set on his work. I'm afraid I'll never understand you Japanese. Because of Genjin Asogi, I suppose. Well, I can't tell you anything else. Thank you so much for your time, Governor. Oh, one more before you weigh in. Oh, what? I'm sure I still have it here somewhere. Is he giving us, like, the file on his resignation or something? Ah, I found it. Yeah, take us a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison. What is it? That's Middleman's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course. Oh my, are you sure? Aye, it's no trouble at all. It's no the original mine. Oh, okay, that's fine then. Harsh reprimand incurred by Middleman 10 years ago that resulted in him losing his job as chief warder of Barclay Jail. Thank you very much, Governor Barricade. Well, in return... Yeah, I'm sight. Let me guess. Do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed. I'm guessing you're gonna be brought to court, though, anyway, at some point here. Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being. Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Holmes with what we found out about Mr. Middleman. Okay, what will we tell Mrs. Middleman, I wonder? Yeah. Well, this has certainly happened, but, well, I mean,
What now? Have we just have no case to work on as Naruhodo then? Alright. 1st of November, Holmes is sweet. Back.
Hello, you two.
Oh, no.
Sorry. Hello, you two.
I thought you'd be back before long, so I'd make some scones for us all. Ah, so that's what this... Greetings, my dear fellows. Fuck's sake. The shenanigans never end with you, do they, Holmes?
You returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating.
Let me guess, he tried to fix his red hair and ended up being blue. Okay. Hello, Mr. Holmes.
Hello, Mr. Holmes.
Say nothing. Your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case.
It turns out that I may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application.
Yeah, isn't that the basis of the scientific method?
Oh my. Pray, tell me, what about Warden friend? Have you gotten some new information?
Oh, yes. Something very surprising, in fact. Though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest.
Most certainly isn't.
But still, we discovered that... Holmes! Oh,
Drop everything, Holmes. This is more important.
Gina?
I can't believe it.
Gina? Gina? Gina, please! Are you okay? What's happened?
Clearly a very grave matter indeed. Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever.
Let me guess, you found out that Toby is gonna be leaving for Paris.
It's the boss.
What do you mean, Inspector Gregson?
Boss he's dead.
What? Hold the fuck up! I'm sorry, hold the fuck up! What?
They just found his body. Shot with a pistol.
What?
You gotta be fucking kidding me. But Inspector Gregson.
He was murdered.
No, not Toby. Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story.
But you can't just fucking kill off Toby like that. What the fuck? Just hold the fuck up. Are you absolutely sure? Are you serious? Yeah, Inspector Gregson was really shot. Are you sure he's shot? Are you sure he's only shot and not dead? I'm pretty sure he's probably shot but not dead.
I don't know much about what would happen myself yet. He's still there, investigating the scene. Where did this take place? A rented room in a building full of flats on Fresno Street.
The outskirts of town, nowhere near his home.
Is perhaps investigating a case then. Thing is, not the yard knows nothing about no case around there.
Oh, so it could be, something he was probably investigating in secret on behalf of Lord Vortex then.
Oh, how strange. Boss was so good to me. I know I ain't up much yet, but one day I was gonna show him. I'd become a proper detective.
Are you absolutely sure he's dead?
Oh, Gene Bean.
Okay, the culprit. So, who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is?
I got him already.
Already? They got the shooter so soon.
A witness reported something was going on. The boys got straight down there and took care of him.
Who? What awful person did this? Asogi? Let me guess. It's Asogi, isn't it?
I still can't believe it myself.
Hey, Gina?
It was the Reaper.
Hold the fuck up! Hold the fuck up! Hold up! No, hold the fuck up! Hold the fuck up! Wait a minute, you don't mean they've arrested Lord Van Zieks for it?
That's right. That Reaper bloke's gone and shot the boss.
No! Lord Van Zieks? I mean, we only saw him this morning.
Are you quite sure, Miss Lestrade? It's Barak Van Zieks the police have arrested. Saw him with my own eyes, in the interview room at the yard. I don't believe it. But there were witnesses, and they're all saying it was him.
So you mean, there were actually multiple witnesses?
They heard the gunshot, apparently. And when I got to the scene, there was only the boss and that Reaper bloke in the room.
Oh boy, guess we're gonna be defending Van Zieks now. Great, Holmes went from Markiplier to Dan TDM. Yeah. I was thinking more from Markiplier to Crank Gameplays. There's no way Lord Van Zieks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it.
I don't believe it either. Thank you for informing us, Mr. Strahd. This really is the most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry. What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing.
Let me guess, he can't investigate it?
Well, anyway, I'm taking the cab over to the scene right now. Please come and all, as soon as you can. You gotta help.
On my way!
It's detective's lot to be wherever some sinister plot is unfolded. No wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes, these things are almost too much for the nerves.
Holmes.
What use is there in being a great detective if I failed to see something like this coming? How could I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson!
Damn it.
Mr. Naruhodo, I should leave at once to begin my investigations.
Of course, yes, we will too.
It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you intend to do so anyway.
Yeah.
Until later then.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Inspector Gregson, dead, and Lord Van Zeek's arrested.
Ryu, Susie! I've called you a handsome. It's waiting outside.
Why do they use so many different words for omnibus here? I don't get it. Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Mr. Sato?
Yes.
Although no one seems quite torn up about them, which is a little surprising. Okay. Yeah, okay. I guess straight to the jail or to Fresno Street Room. Let me guess. Van Zeeks is probably still being interrogated, so... Oh, no, he's just right there. Okay. 1st November, local jail cell 1. There he is, Lord Van Zeeks, behind bars. Who would have thought it? So what, is he gonna be prosecuting himself then? Oh, no. Oh, Asogi's gonna be the prosecutor, isn't he? Oh, boy. That's true. He really was arrested. Sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zeeks?
Fancy meeting you here.
Yeah. The last place on Earth I'd like to be, or the last person on Earth I'd like to see. Hey! Come on, man! I couldn't very well not come. Weird what happened, that Inspector Gregson was...
Go home. This has nothing to do with you.
It has everything to do with us! Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. Let's help us with our investigations, please.
There's really nothing I can tell you.
What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case?
This. The yard isn't quite so cavalier with its information as it shared the case details with the suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance.
Oh, who might that be?
Someone you know, as it happens. Benjamin Dobinbow.
Oh, really? Of course, yes. Keep forgetting they went to the same university. Yeah, because they don't ever seem like they actually related to, friends, you know?
And I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know?
Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zeeks never minces his words. They seem to have less bite than usual somehow. Well, yeah, I can only imagine he's been affected by this. Look at my fucking badge! Alright. Now, how is all this gonna be related? I'm not sure. Alright, what happened? Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zeeks? What happened?
How much do you already know?
We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street. That you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested. We were told that there was nobody else in the room and that some witnesses heard the gunshot.
Then you're well informed. And there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself.
But the gunshot, obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you?
I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise, however. Before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers.
So he doesn't actually know what happened. I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with?
I don't need to answer that.
Oh.
After all, you're not representing me.
He is gonna be a lawyer, though. Well, I mean, didn't he say before in the last case that there was no one he'd rather have as a defense for the case with Dobinbow? Come on, you gotta let us work with you here. Come on, please. Please? Please? Alright, Professor Dobinbow's lair. We'll talk about your defense last. Alright, after the trial, Professor Dobinbow is supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought.
His lair to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. Relief, I must say. You should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper. Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean? Yes, so it seems. Your stupid little Nipponese friend, for example. He told me he was keeping well in Japan while I inquired the other day. Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. So Professor Dobenbow's safely back in Germany now. He is. Alright. Your defense? Who's gonna be representing you in court, Lord Van Zieks? Anyone other than you, I should imagine. Oh, come on! Bruh, you gotta get over this. Well, I'd be right in assuming that you have no representation as of yet. Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. My career, of all the defense I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now. Who's the third, then? Because we only have Soseki and Natsume. Who are the other people? Yeah, it was Soseki in case 4. And then, oh, Gina. Yeah, Gina was the only one that didn't. Okay. Questions will be asked now. Surely not. I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that. What does he mean by that? Huh. So, it appears our conversation has run dry. There's a 2-second silence, that's all. Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you. I was wondering, Lord Van Zieks, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you. Trust me, do you? Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. I'm quite sure that you would never take another's life. It's just, my feelings can't be used as evidence in court of law, sadly. Very gracious offer. However, I trust no one. Are you gonna be advocating for yourself? I mean, in that case, like, you could possibly win, but you'll never be able to investigate the scene, so I highly doubt you'll ever be able to actually win. Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you Nipponese. But please, you trusted us with his defense! Bruh! I have no intention of engaging your services. Well, we're gonna investigate anyway, because fuck you. Alright, the chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems. I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Neither of us will waste any more time. Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper, and find out more about Lord Van Zieks and what happened to Inspector Gregson. Yeah. Alright, Fresno Street room. Okay, 1st of November, room on Fresno Street. Oh. Wait. Was Inspector Gregson wearing a red-headed wig? Bruh. Alright. Clearly we're gonna need to look more into that. I mean, I figured there had to be a reason why that newspaper is still in our fucking evidence. Really is now the way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. This dust-ridden rented old room is where it happened then. So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life. Yes, the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. Are we sure he's dead? Are we absolutely sure? I don't see Mr. Holmes anywhere, though. Perhaps his investigations have taken him elsewhere. Oi, what do you think you're doing there? Every one of them drawers has got to be taken right out so you can look underneath and all. I want space above the ceiling check, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack, too. Blimey, and you lot never gone out over our house looking for dough when the others are out of town. Bruh. Gina, is the chimney a place where people normally stash money? Gina's obviously got some unique investigative techniques she wants everyone to adopt. Oh, so you turned up at last. Mind you, I ain't been here long myself. Hello again, Gina. Holmes only just left. You're lucky you missed that. He went prancing around here, pointing his stuff and flicking that out of his, and then he just scarpered. Oh, he's finished investigating already, you mean? Yeah, he didn't stop saying nothing to no one, not even me. Yeah, would you mind if we investigated too? Listen, Odo. You're a lawyer, right? Yes, why? Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are you? Oh.
Well, I mean, it's only natural that she thinks he's a suspect, so, you know, if you don't mind me saying, if Lord Van Zieks really is responsible for this crime, he'll be duly and fairly judged in court.
Suppose you're right, yeah. Go on then, Oil. Get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened to you.
Thank you, Gina. All right. Hey, if you don't think it'd be in a chimney, that would be the perfect hiding place. Yeah, fair enough. But at the same time, if it was put in a chimney, then all that money would be covered in fucking soot. All right. Really, these aren't, no, I don't know what they are, so. All the wallpaper's peeling. An empty fireplace makes your room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it? Thick with dust. Look, I think it'd be fair to say it hasn't been used in a very long time. In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather. No, I think this room was abandoned. Or nobody lived here at all, and merely visited when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely. No, that's right. It's one or the other, obviously. Alright, let's look at the picture frame here. Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of one of Inspector Gregson's family members. No, I don't think this room was his. What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head. Let me guess, it's a photo of Mrs. Middleman? They are! Look, Mr. Naruhodo, quickly! Yep, that's Mrs. Middleman, okay. Why do I feel like this woman is familiar somehow? Naruhodo!
Of course she's familiar. We only met her this morning.
It's Mrs. Middlemont! Yeah, there you go.
This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Mrs. Middlemont in here?
Everything's connected as usual.
To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped. Sorry to say, I have no idea either.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna fucking investigate this. Alright. Oh, I can't fucking turn the picture, the frame around and look at what's inside it? Okay. Alright, and can't look in the drawers either. Alright. What's on this wall? This billboard here?
Looks like some sort of notice board or something.
And it's absolutely covered in scraps of paper.
Mr. Naruhodo, look.
This, you mean, it's an autopsy report, isn't it?
These are case notes here, and details of prison inmates.
Yes, in fact, they're all the sort of documents only a detective could normally acquire. So was Inspector Gregson here often then?
Wonder if when on this room. More newspaper cuttings. And this one here.
Oh yes, the advertisement you mean, to the Red-Headed League. Why? What's that doing here?
Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason.
Alright. I'm guessing that those two petty thieves from earlier had something to do with it. Excuse me. Oh, Inspector! Oh, sir! Poor man. He can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset. Poor guy. Excuse me. Sorry, sir. Can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir. Oh, these poor guys! Right. Perhaps I'd better leave you to your work, then. Alright. What's over here, then? What about you? Excuse me. You've been looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector. Don't worry. We'll look after things in the yard. I have interrupted some deep thoughts there. Oh, man. It's only natural they wouldn't be able to focus. Alright, somebody's very haphazardly nailed those boards over the broken glass, haven't they? You couldn't even call it a window anymore. Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room, that was totally blocked up with bricks. Well, yeah, because of the window tax, but this is... You could say... Oh, wait, I didn't get that, Susanoo.
One does at least let in some light, so you could say...
You could say nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. Alright, candles. Wait, is that ash or blood? I can't tell. The top of one of the candles, this candle holder has been completely blown off.
Yes, there's wax splattered on the wall behind. Look.
I suppose if a bullet had hit it.
It does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle,
having first passed through the inspector's body. But would that mean that the bullet had to have come from below then? Ugh, now the wax on the wall looks like blood to me. Oh, so clearly it's meant to be confused then. Okay. Candelabra. Alright, what's this little doll here for? Oh, what's this?
It appeared to be a low-model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it? No way.
Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson? I'm not sure.
It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Zieks playing with something like this.
Do. Stop fiends, blah, blah, blah. Just fucking pulling up two little fingers while he's just hunched up on the floor. Just, you're under arrest. Come over to the court this instant. Oh my god. That's a great image. It's only about 8 centimeters tall. Could have fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. So your belong to the killer or the victim? I think we should record it as evidence just in case. Yes, I agree. It's rather delightful after all, in a way. Okay. Let us look at the candelabra here. Okay. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary here, except the ash. Ah, there's some black marks here. Look. Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks. Did the candle fucking explode? So perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? It's only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems. Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan. But I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them. Yeah, this candelabra doesn't have anything special about it. So why is it in my inventory? Okay, and nothing special about this policeman here either. Except the yellow paint on top. But the yellow paint is on all his buttons and stuff too, so I can't imagine it's terribly significant. How much of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear? I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if somebody enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Yeah, it could have been something that somebody toyed with, just as a way to calm their nerves or whatever. Now we tried twisting it around and around too, for fun. Oh! Ah, what's that? It appears to be some sort of key. But it's tiny though. It couldn't be a key for a door. Not that size. So what's it for, I wonder? Huh. Helix shaft. I don't think that's a shaft. I think that is a gun. Looks like some sort of key. Yes, it does. A very tiny and simple key. What's a little key doing inside a figurine of a policeman in the first place? What's it for? Although it is much more likely to be a key, considering, you know, the fact that there's no trigger and there's sights on the bottom of it too. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, nothing else about this. So very weird key. Alright. Fidget spinner? Nah. Policeman twistable hit. Yeah. Exactly. I'm glad you understand. Oh wait, no, I already talked to you. My bad. Too many tears! Alright. This is presumably the murder weapon then. Oh my. It is real, I suppose. I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I know very little about them. There's one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire a shot! No! If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer to just ask someone who might know, I think. Alright. The revolver. Probably best to avoid handling it. You can't tell me what to do. I will handle this revolver as much as I please. Alright. Let us pull the trigger right away. I suppose this must have been the murder weapon. Oh my. It is real, I suppose. I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know little about them. Perhaps someone more familiar with firearms can shed light here. Well, clearly we're gonna meet someone who is. Are we gonna meet fucking Dimitri Demi-Glassy again from the fucking first case? Oh, I mean, from the first game? I would be very surprised if we did. Can I open the chamber? No, not with this one, it seems. Alright. The wig, then. Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing. Oh, funnily enough, neither can I. Ah, gun with a keychain, convenient. Yeah, sure. It's a hairpiece, isn't it? It is! A bright red hairpiece. And I suppose the fact that it's right there next to where the body was found means we have to accept that. Inspector Gregson wore wigs, doesn't it? Exactly, that's why he wore this hat all the time. It's because he's bald! Such a flame-colored red, too. Yes, that's a color we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it? Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it. Okay. And let's look at the bloodstain now. So I suppose this is where the victim... That's right. The rope was laid around the body to show exactly how it was found. Poor Inspector Gregson himself has already been taken away. And would probably be under Dr. Say's scalpel by now, if not for what happened last week. Yeah, what are they gonna do to him now? From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball. Yeah, he was on the floor, playing with his toys. Right. He was just a big fan of Markiplier, naturally. But only like 2016 Markiplier, you understand. Are you feeling alright, Mr. Naruhodo? But was it 2016 or 2018 Markiplier? I don't remember. You look like you've just seen a ghost. Well, I know it's all just a rope, but, well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with that bloodstain next to it. Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be even worse than reality. That was so strong, though. She's taking this far better than I am. Or rather, she's better at hiding it than. Alright, we haven't inspected the door, I don't think. What else is there to inspect in here? Haven't inspected the ceiling, I guess. I don't know. What else could there be around here? The radiator? I don't know. Can't inspect any of that. I guess we're done here then. Oh, shit. Oh, and Gina's still here, huh? Alright, you happen to know anything about this guy? Nope. No clue. Gotcha. You think it was 2016? Really? Alright, Inspector Gregson. Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place? That's what I want to know. Guess what? Half a year since I got out of the clink. That's why I decided to give me diving and become a detective instead. Oh yes, Mr. Holmes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he? Something like that, I think. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss till then. It turns out, he's a bit of a legend at the Yard. Well, yeah, because of the novels, I assume. Goodness, really? Same managed to solve some really tricky case, just like that. Don't tell me that was about the professor. He did. Yep, and ever since then, he started going on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else in the Yard even knows what half the cases he's working on are, apparently. That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? So what was the legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this? I know he had a lot of respect for the Reaper and all, and look where that landed him. Respect for the Reaper? In what way? Heard him say as much. Take my hat off to the fellow, were his words. Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper. Yeah, the boss said it's exactly why you respected the bloke. I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in quite such high regard. Well, they are co-workers, so. He said something else to me and all. I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, because he only goes after people what are bad. It kind of set my mind at ease when he said that. Right. Alright, the crime scene then. What's this place then? Does anyone live here? Apparently he's been rented by some cove called Hugh Boone. Hugh Boone. Hugh Boone. Why does it sound like a potential pun? Hugh Boone. Sort of here today, gone tomorrow name that, isn't it? Yeah, it's what we call an unidentified person. You haven't been able to get in touch with him. I see. Well, judging from appearances, I have to say that this place hasn't been lived in for a long time, if ever. Right? All the lads from the Yard piled down to get stuck into the investigation. But there's so little here, no one know what to do with themselves. I do wonder. Yes, Mrs. Otto? Well, could it be that this Hugh Boone is in fact Inspector Gregson himself? But how could that be? Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that this is in fact some kind of secret office of his. I never even considered that. Nice work, Suze. We're actually following a live inquiry like that ourselves. You are. If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at. Really investigate this place in detail. No, we've already inspected it. And inspectigated it. Inspectigated it. Alright. The incident. See, that's where the poor inspector was found. Over there. Yeah, that's right. They said it was a single bullet what did him in. Apparently the bullet went through him and sucked the candle tree in the wall. Oh yes, it's blown one of the candles apart completely. However, that'd have to be a really weird angle to hit the inspector and then the candle, so I'm really curious as to how that happened. The gun used there is on the floor. It's Reaper's, isn't it? No denying that. What? Really? How do you know that? Take it easy. I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them big wide eyes. I'm only saying what I heard. I don't know much about guns myself. But there's some bigwig lawman who said so. Why don't you ask him? Big bad lawman. A bigwig lawman, is it? Anyway, Fresno Street runs along under that window there. There's some street sellers just outside who had the gunshot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside. Yeah, they've all been taken down the Yard for questioning, that's why. Talking about the Yard's legendary inspector here, after all. They'll be getting the grilling. You think we might be able to speak with those street sellers ourselves? I doubt it. The lads at the Yard will just want to know what you're stupid for, and you'll be up for grilling and all. So we can't interview the witnesses then. Shame. Well, I mean, all they heard was a gunshot, so I can't assume they knew much. Unless they, like, barged in here and saw Van Zieks. Do you know much about this revolver, then? Nope. Okay. What about the policeman figure? Nope. Okay. What about the hair? Nope. Alright. The photograph? No. Okay. I think we might be done here. Okay. Yeah, that's everything then. Oh, oopsie. That was an accident. Alright. Lord Chief Justice's office. Yeah, that's probably the way to go right now. Just to see what's up. 1st November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. A good time. I took an express train back to London. Who that? I can hear Lord Vortex. Can you? Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone. Oh, it's a Sogi! Everything in place. I had a private compartment on the train so I could check all the paperwork. It's... Kazuma. Oh boy. Ah, your timing is impeccable. It is. Oh boy. No doubt you've heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry. Yes. Sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Vortex. That Lord Van Zieks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson. Let me guess, personal feelings aren't a part of it. I believe only in the facts. And the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accuser of Lord Van Zieks for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective. Oh no, surely not. It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system swift and equitable processes. Does that mean the trial is tomorrow? Jesus, this is fucking fast. Like, you only just discovered him today. Right, precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions. Kazuma. Yeah, he doesn't seem willing to talk to us. Why? Why, buddy? Ah, but of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings. Being the prosecution. Wait, what? Yeah, I figured. As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law. Kazuma, a prosecutor? Oh boy. Yeah, I think we should avoid talking to Asogi for now. Alright, tomorrow's trial. I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no, people all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds. There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper the Bailey, and now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Quite so, the public want answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths. Lord Van Zieks firmly denies any involvement in such matters. There have been enough investigations that have proven him to be innocent. That's certainly true. Or it has been, at least, until now. How so? No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history. Alright. Prosecutor Asogi. So, Kazuma will be prosecuting tomorrow. That's right. But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Vortex. Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. And imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. Devastating combination, wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. I have no doubt at all that Kazuma will be razor sharp as a prosecutor. Well, yeah, but by Kazuma, there are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain. It is a personal request. It has to be assigned to the trial. You asked for this, but why? It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation. Surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. Seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact. You're quite right, Miss Bikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks. That's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution. Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in this land for so many months. Kazuma, I
I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't gonna end well, my friend. Aw, man! Why is he doing this? Well, clearly he's remembered something very important here. Killer's gun. Oh yes, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belonged to Lord Van Zeeks? That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene. Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up who might know. That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct. Certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine. In that case, it could have actually belonged to the victim. No, Gregson has a gun on his person. What about Lord Van Zeeks? Claims it's currently not in his possession. What? According to his story, he lost it. How? What, bruh? In short, it's more than a little suspicious. But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defense is no proof that's actually his. No, of course not. Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zeeks. Well, I mean, don't guns all have serial numbers? You would think you'd be able to look that up. But I assume at this point in time, he doesn't. Alright, let's address the elephant. I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be alright now. Memory completely returned. Yes, completely. I remember everything. Including what I was coming here to do. Right. I mean, you were gonna mention that there was something you came here to do, but, never talked to it about us before you quote-unquote died, so... Kazuma, I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But, how'd you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia? It was the voice. This past year, I'm hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. Huh? That voice that guided me here to London. So sorry for what's happened. Anyway, my memory might have returned to me, but there's something that won't return to the way it was before. Let me guess, our friendship. Huh, what do you mean? Prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. Yeah. And he's just left, alright. Doesn't look like we're gonna glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Vortex. Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in Empire's history. Much you can learn from the public gallery. Huh? Are you telling us just not to... Bruh? Huh? Sorry to taking up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out. Oh, Asogi? Oh, and now we get to hear his original theme after all this time. Okay, thank God. I was afraid that we would just heard the Nocturne version forever. Before you go, Ryunosuke. Oh, what is it, Kazuma? I just wanted to thank you. Kazuma, what? You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. You carried out my role to perfection. You always were intent on studying British law in order to change your own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you. Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here. Oh. I actually have a favor to ask. Which is, this trial will be prosecuted tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as a defense counsel. I would, but Van Zeeks seems to be very opposed to it. I don't know, maybe you could say something to him. I don't know, you're his apprentice. Why, what's this all about? I know you have what it takes. But Lord Van Zeeks would never put his fate in my hands. On the contrary, he recognizes your talent. He does. It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this. It's fucking all three of them. Oh, that hurts. That hurts to look at. Fucking Clint, Van Zeeks, and fucking Tobias. That's Lord Van Zeeks and Inspector Gregson. Photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the looks of it. How do you have this, though? And who's the third person? Naruhodo, please. It's displayed very prominently in the detective's office. In Gregson's office, you mean? Yes. What I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it. Alright? I guess we show it to him and then just say, hey, fuck you. We're taking your defense whether you like it or not, pal. I don't understand. Why are you giving me this? Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over. What are you doing, Kazuma? I'd like to know that myself, thank you very much. Alright. Okay. You said not to come, but we're coming anyway, fuck you. Lord Van Zeke's still reading that letter. I've been gone quite some time, though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. Either that, or he is just very, very passionate about Dobunbo. Might even be able to read English faster than he can. And here's the snappy comeback. I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese. Oh, sorry. I didn't think you'd hear that. I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time. Yes, we've heard that your trial is set for tomorrow. This is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer? How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you. In other words, no. We were just talking to Lord Vortex, and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided. I expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's going to be Kazuma Asogi. Asogi! Made the color drain from his face. Piano can... Well then. Seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. Well, let's just get this out of the way first, huh? Lord Van Zeeks, we came by this old photograph. Where'd you get that? It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost. Is the man on the left there? Yes, that's my brother, Clint. Alright. It had to be, really. Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense! No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you. Feels though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There's a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle. Yeah, he's actually fucking smiling in this photo. Like, just look at this. Look at this fucking cinnamon roll. Alright. Okay. Let's talk then, Asogi. 10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. Killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asogi. Genshin Asogi was Kazuma's father. So what cruel twist of fate is now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court. I still don't understand why Lord Vortex apprenticed Kazuma to you. That's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset. Yeah. I highly doubt he didn't know what he was doing. There's no doubt he wouldn't have gotten like a photograph of him or something beforehand when looking at his student application or whatever. What could he have been hoping to achieve? Let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Vortex assign this trial to somebody like that? Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all us Japanese. The Nipponese bane! I'd only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother Clint, director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer. So-called professor. Assigned to the investigation as his partner was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. And that was Genshin Asogi. Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of that man. Ooh, this is a new tune. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, any semblance of right prevailing over wrong. Oh, how awful. To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented. What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor? Let me guess. Was it Lord Vortex at the time? The man in charge of the professor case's inquiry, Lord Hard Vortex. Yeah. Wait, what? Lord Vortex? A highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. He's the one person to whom I felt indebted. Very must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor. Anyway, time passed, but then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? And of all things, as a lawyer. Well, Genshin wasn't a lawyer, so I don't think so. I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese. I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years, that hatred has festered inside me. I can no longer control it. And I can understand why, now that I know the history. But in the same way that I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life. Cosmo Sogi, I'm the bane of his. The Reaper who sent his father to the gallows. Looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow. I'm not so sure about that. Alright, Inspector Gregson. Gregson's transfer to the Paris Police Prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month. But he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh, yes, come to think of it, you did mention something about that, didn't you? I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean. First time I've ever encountered it. Oh, the Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. Yeah, considering, you know, the relationship between England and France over the past, couple of 100 years, it hasn't been the best, let's say. just a little bit. Can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place. Sounds like that mystery is even the Reaper perplexed. Afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. Hear that, he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard. Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself. By uncovering a decisive piece of evidence, I exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would have been made. Sort of approach. After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy. My, 10 years ago? Why is it so surprising? Autopsy was considered desecration of the body at the time, and rarely performed. My brother was of course a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. Powerful conviction somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death. So, you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then. It's even more inconceivable that you have taken his life. Inspector Gregson. Why is this game so good? It's stupid how good this game is. Fuck. Alright. Give me a sec. Oh, my nose. My nose. Alright. Alright, let's talk about another elephant. Your gun. There's so many elephants in this game, jeez. About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene. Ah, yes. That's not mine. Really, because common opinion seems to be that it is. What do you expect me to say to that? Nothing. Lord Vortex informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm. As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true. When do you lose it, then? That, I don't know. Oh, I was issued with a revolver when I first became prosecutor 10 years ago. Must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose, or left it somewhere, perhaps. So you never brought it with you. So it was probably just in your office somewhere. You have something in common with Lord Van Zeeks after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things. No, this has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it. Don't make the mistake of associating me with this Nipponese. Okay, alright, thank you for bringing out the full-on racism again. Very cool. Oh dear, the rift is very wide, isn't it? So it's not decisive evidence, clearly, but it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Alright. Well, it's your final chance, man. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, is it? Oh, this is the first time he's ever used my actual name. Lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. There's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. And what's that? Myself? That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth. From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here's a loathsome Nipponese, who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. oh, praise me more! There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother, Clint, and Genshin Asogi. Yeah, I'm starting to think more and more that Genshin was probably set up. Man he idolized, the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. I mean, this photograph. Look at this photograph! Every time I do it makes me cry. I cry. Back then, I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I look to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe. I'm so sorry. Why are you sorry? So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. Tomorrow's trial. Will you advocate for me? Yes, Daddy! You only needed to ask! Of course I will. It would be an honor. So please, Mr. Naruhodo. Then my life is in your hands. Although, you are more than welcome to come on the defense's bench with me, Vanzeeks. Like, we can triple team this bitch. Well, assuming Suzawa's coming with. For Lord Vanzeeks. That must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask. Which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow, in the Old Bailey, against my old friend, Kazuma. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here it goes. Here it goes. Alright. Favorite gun progress? Hell yeah, I will bet, baby. Alright. Time for the trial. I assume that this is probably just gonna be day one. 2nd of November, 8:56 a.m. The Old Bailey, Defense Antechamber. It's that old familiar feeling again. Yep, absolute dread. Ah, it's so familiar. The crushing pressure of this historic courthouse. Ah, breathing in that sweet courthouse pressure. Actually, no, it's a little different today. There's an even more menacing tension in the air. There's a menacing tension in the air here today, isn't there? I suppose. Yes, I think so. I wonder why. It can only be the result of the menacing appearance of the defendant. Naruhodo, is this time to joke around? A little more courtesy, if you please. Oh my, I do apologize. Oh, I thought you were doing it on purpose, Susato. However, you're certainly not mistaken that this trial is far from ordinary. What do you mean? I'm not privy to the details. However, I understand that no jury has been selected. Ah. So it's that important of a trial, huh? Trial without jury? Well, that's just like the trial of the professor 10 years ago. Closed court. Good morning, my dear fellows. But is the gallery gonna be open then? Like, huh? Mr. Holmes. Have you made note of my hair, Mr. Naruhodo? An outright victory for science, you must agree. Yeah, sure, buddy. I'm glad that you're at least somewhat back to normal, I guess. To be perfectly honest, so much happened yesterday that, well, I completely forgot about your little hair problem. Yeah, well, you just go around investigating with blue hair forever? Ha! What's a one man's little hair problem is to another day of drinking dubious potion after dubious potion. Are you sure you're okay? You have no idea how my stomach ails me this morning. Oh dear, how awful for you. I'm afraid you only have yourself to blame, Mr. Holmes. And good morning to you, Mr. Reaper. I'm delighted to see you looking so full of vim. And you. I see London's celebrated great detective is as active as ever. Oh, you exaggerate, my dear fellow. Compared to my paltry engagements with a few trivial cases, the Reaper's overbearing presence is a far greater deterrent to the black roots of crime in our capital. I don't think that was the right thing to say. And whilst I may not agree with your methods, there is at least one point on which I would readily commend you. What an honor, and that would be... You're a good lawyer, sir. Mr. Holmes? Please? This is touchy enough for him as is. After all, behind this lawyer, there's a very great mind. My own. Holmes. Holmes, you have nothing to do with this. What are you trying to say? I wish only to say that you should be prepared for quite a trial, Mr. Reaper. Sorry to barge in. Oh, it's you two. Okay. Oh, Gina has her own fucking inspector band now. Wow, look at her. Gina. What's that on her arm? It's a mourning band, I suppose. Oh. Ah. Father, shouldn't you be at the symposium? Been postponed, so I have some free time. I decided to come along with the police inspector to see our country's up-and-coming student in action. I should be very interested in seeing the fruits of your studies over the past year. Well, it's an honor to have you here. Let's hope there are some fruits to see. Yeah. Gina! Oh, yes, Gina? Why'd you agree to this, eh? Why'd you take him on? This Reaper blow. Everyone says it was him, what? Killed the boss. Gina, did you forget your own position, like, 6 months ago? Sorry, Gina. I just don't believe that. Reaper weren't him. Who was it? I don't know that yet. I don't care who tells him what. The Reaper's just a name. He's just a person at the end of the day. If it turns out it was him what killed the boss, then God help him. Fiery eyes indeed. Yes, the culprit deserves every ounce of your loathing. Eh? At least there may be some solace to the deceased. Please, hold on. Okay, whoever did this, for the boss. Oh, Gina. I hate feeling this useless, but there's nothing I can do. Take off, find your dust, and make the wretch pay. It hurts to see her like this. Counsel for the defense and defendant. Court be in session shortly. Make your way into the courtroom at once, please. Alright then, here we go. Time, Mr. Naruhodo. Lord Van Zieks? Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. One lost his treasured brother to a mass murderer. One who lost his treasured father in a foreign court of law. And one who lost a man to help her escape destitution. Yeah, this is all just a big shit show, isn't it? All that misfortune, all that pain, on course to collide headlong in this trial. Time to shine a light on all these dark events. And whatever truth is revealed, you're gonna have to look it straight in the eye. Yeah, Holmes, any information you have right now would be great. It would be very welcome. Because I'm pretty sure you're holding some stuff back right now from me. Alright, 2nd of November, 9:20 a.m., the Old Bailey Court. Oh man. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here to conduct the fair and just trial of the defendant, Derek Van Zieks. Counsel for the defense and prosecution, are you ready to begin? The defense is ready, my lord. The defense is born ready, my lord. The prosecution is more than ready. Oh, Kazuma. I've been wishing to see you in court again for so long, it feels. But I never pictured it happening like this. He's just wielding fucking 2 swords. Alright. Never thought I'd be facing you behind the prosecution's bench. So-called Reaper of the Bailey has been a scourge like no other, undermining Your Majesty's justice system. Today, we must uncover the truth behind the scourge. In other words, the trial is going to be a lot more far-reaching than Inspector Gregson's murder. The truths revealed by these proceedings may have unpredictable repercussions to the judiciary. Accordingly, they had to be conducted as a closed trial with no members of the public present. By Your Majesty's direct orders. How will that work, my lord? The burden of all arbitration and education falls on my shoulders. Yeah, so no summation examination, it seems. Therefore, as you will see, the jurors' bench shall remain vacant today. No member of the public are present. May I ask who is currently occupying the gallery, my lord? They are members of the judiciary, here to witness proceedings and ensure an equitable trial. So, jurors, you mean? Members of the judiciary. Oh my, this is a very unusual trial already. There's of course another unprecedented aspect to these proceedings on which I must elaborate. The counsels for the prosecution and the defense are both aliens of Great Britain. Hey. Rude. I believe it takes an outsider to see the truth sometimes. And as I stand here in this courtroom now, I'm quite certain. It's the reason why I had to come to Britain. Asuna? Very well, let's commence proceedings. All right, give me one more second again. I'm sorry, I just need to blow my nose. All right then, let's get this show on the road. Let's kick some fucking ass. Asogi, you're going down. Prosecutor Asogi, your opening statement, if you please. Certainly, my lord. The incident took place on 1st November, at just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The location was a building of flats on Fresno Street, at the outskirts of the city. The victim's body was discovered there in an old single-room rental property. Yes, Inspector Tobias Gregson, a name known very well indeed to this court. Not least for his miraculous resolution of one of this country's grimmest cases 10 years ago. Are you guys just gonna keep on mentioning that now? Like, all of a sudden you're gonna mention this case like 5 times, and that Tobias Gregson was the one who solved it, and not mention it any other time throughout the entire game, despite him being just as prominent? Okay. That's kind of bad. The professor case. How sure are you about the time of the incident? Several witnesses on the street outside heard the gunshot, and all reported at the same time. Yes, that's when Gina told us too. There were a number of witnesses. I have here a plan of the room. The victim was found curled up in one corner. It's believed that he was shot from the front at point-blank range and died instantly. How was the range been determined? There were scorch marks around the entry wound. Such marks are caused by the gunpowder used to fire the bullet. Powder hot enough to leave scorch marks is only ejected a few inches beyond the end of the barrel. In other words, it only happens when the target is at point-blank range. I see. I see, yes. Thank you for the detailed explanation, Counsel. Oh boy. Well, I need to look over that real quick. Alright, autopsy report. Victim, name Tobias Gregson, male, age 45, nationality British, time of death. Coroner, Maria Guillotine? Really? Really? That's not subtle at all. Alright, time of death. The time of death isn't listed. Hello? Alright. Cause of death. Victim was shot in the chest at close range from the front, resulting in instant death. Scorch marks at point of entry. The bullet exited the body from behind. Additional observation. The caliber of the gun matches that of standard issue firearms from members of the judiciary. But nothing about the time of death here? Huh. The murder weapon was found lying beside the victim. Have you managed to ascertain the owner of the firearm? No, my lord. Not conclusively. Bravo, Kazuma. For not trying to use the gun as evidence when its provenance can't be proven. Furthermore, my lord. As I've explained, the revolver was fired at extremely close range. The bullet passed through the victim and struck the wall behind him. There's a candelabrum mounted on that wall, and the tip of one of the candles in it was found to have been blown off by the projectile. We noticed that too, didn't we? Yes, that's right. Thank you for the thorough report, Counsel. The saying of the crime is clear to me. You'll submit the plan of the crime scene as evidence, please. As you wish, my lord. Is this Fresno Street room Inspector Gregson's private abode? No, my lord. The room was rented to a Mr. Hugh Boone. But there's precious low furniture inside. It is generally in a poor state of repair. What on earth was Gregson even doing there? Presumably he was investigating some case or other. A policeman was informed the gun shot from the witnesses and rushed to the scene. He found only the deceased inspector and the accused standing inside, holding the revolver. Of course he was holding the revolver, because we couldn't have any sort of... We can never have a win, can we? Never. The attending officer arrested the accused on the spot. So, the details of the case are clear. That case, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Let me guess. Van Zieks himself? Name, please, Counsel. Heir there, Gina Lestrade. Naturally, the accused himself. Yep. Lord Van Zieks. As a prosecutor, he believes in the oath of office he's taken, and he will be compelled to tell the truth. Very well. Let the defendant take the witness stand. Who would have thought I'd ever see this? So, witness, state your name and occupation for the court. Iraq Van Zieks, Old Bailey prosecutor. I presume, Lord Van Zieks, that you heard Prosecutor Asogi's opening precis. I did. It is alleged that you were found at the scene of the crime, and that you were arrested by the arriving police officer. Can you confirm this? Yes, my lord. I'm sure the court would like to hear you explain some things away. Namely, why you were there in the room at Fresno Street in the time in question, and what exactly took place. I intend to explain away nothing. I will simply tell the truth. Say, Lord Van Zieks, I never imagined this day would come. Or rather, I didn't want to imagine it would come, but since you became known as the Reaper, part of me has been dreading it. Yeah, kind of unavoidable, I suppose. Formal testimony then, witness. Okay. Facts of the incident. I was investigating Gregson. My inquiries had led me to that address. When I first encountered the room that day, it was dark inside and I saw no one. Moments later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and I saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. That testimony was the whole truth. Was. So, you heard a shot being fired in a room with no living occupants. Moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes. Is that it? You're right, you haven't explained away anything. In fact, it would barely qualify as an excuse. I thought you were my mute apprentice. Shut the fuck up, Asogi, get the hell out of here. Yeah, it turns out you have a way with words, Prosecutor Asogi. It would appear to be a singular tale indeed. Singular isn't the word, it's laughable. Hey! He's gotten into Kazuma. He's not behaving like himself at all. Very well then. Counsel, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Alright. Looking at fucking Asogi's face in the bottom. I was investigating Gregson. My inquiries led me to that address. What are you investigating him for? You're investigating the inspector. What on earth for? I'm not at liberty to say. You're about to be accused of murder and put on the dock. I think you can say a little bit. Sorry? I identified a distinct possibility that Gregson was involved in a case I was investigating. Incredibly, though, he was killed before I could secure the proof I needed. Is the court to understand that on the day in question, you followed the victim to the scene? No, I was privy to his movements in advance. How? I stole into his office at the yard and consulted his diary. The address on Fresno Street was noted in the 5 p.m. entry. Why would he keep a diary, though? Like, that's just asking for trouble in his position. You illegally entered the man's office. In Japan, that alone would constitute a very serious offense. But this isn't Japan. As it does in Great Britain, I assure you. Is that not the case, Lord Van Zieks? I was aware of the possible consequences. So, in summary, you were investigating the victim. And yet, you refused to tell the court why. I didn't realize British prosecutors enjoyed such freedom to choose what to divulge under oath. Why'd I think I could ever defend this man? Yeah, he's not gonna give us much to work with. It was dark inside and you saw no one. The lights weren't on? Have you ever been to the address before? No, never. I only learned of the place as a result of my investigations into Gregson's activities. There was no light inside when I entered, so it was all but impossible to make out anything. By 5 p.m., the sun would have only just gone down. It would have still been reasonably light outside. But yeah, because the window was boarded up. The room has a window, but it was boarded shut. Very little light found its way into the room from outside, so it was extremely murky inside. I wouldn't have noticed, and the victim was already lying on the floor. There's no artificial light in the room, you say? You're quite sure? I'm quite sure that part of the room where the body was found was very dark. I have a feeling there was a small oil lamp burning on the desk, though I couldn't say for certain. Sorry? Alright. Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Got the oil lamp right there. However, it's pretty far away from the body, so I can see it, not illuminating it. There's a small desk in the room just here. Yes, I remember. There's an oil lamp on it, as well as the framed photograph. When I entered the room, I closed the door behind me and started toward the desk to investigate. What'd you find? Nothing. I never actually reached the desk. Oh. One later, I heard a gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. So it was right behind you. So, who fired the gun? I have no idea. See anybody else in the room? They say it was very dark in there. Yes, that's right. All I can tell you is, I didn't sense another's presence. Aha! Then could be that the gunshot actually originated from somewhere outside the room. No, there wasn't a hole in the wall. Well, I mean, possibly from the window. No, there was no way it could, reach the candelabra then. So, yeah, that is out of the question. Oh. Without doubt, the sound emanated from inside the room. I could smell the gunpowder. It's going from bad to worse. You say that's the point at which you noticed the revolver on the floor. Correct. And I foolishly picked it up. That was carelessness on my part. Presumably then, the gunshot you heard came from the firearm that you somewhat hastily took in your hands. Point of fact, my lord, I believe it did not. What? The barrel of the revolver I picked up was cold, and there was no smell of spent powder. But then, where on earth was the gun that was fired? Whilst I would like to oblige you with an answer. Afraid I can't. I too would dearly like to know that. There is nothing to work with here! Fuck's sake. Just I picked up the firearm to examine it. The door flew open and I heard a man scream. A man, you say? One of the witnesses, I presume. That's right. One of the street merchants working on Fresno Street. Who are these merchants? A number of them had set up their stalls directly beneath the boarded window of the crime scene. A match seller, a newsmonger, and a peddler. They've all given statements saying they heard the gunshot. And without thought of danger, they ran inside to see what had happened. Yes, Gina told us about that yesterday, didn't she? However, that is weird that they would just run in right away, considering they just heard a gunshot. I, for one, would want to stay away from a gunshot and potentially not get shot. I would probably just call the police instead. They burst through the door with some force, it would seem. It almost gave me a heart attack in the process. But you're supposed to be the Reaper. First man to come immediately noticed the revolver in my hand and fled. Policemen patrolling on Fresno Street heard the commotion. I was able to arrest the accused shortly after the incident occurred. Anyway, the man's scream drew my attention in that direction. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. You mean appeared or illuminated? What do you mean by that? In what way did the body appear? I honestly can't explain it, but it's the truth. You know what I'm thinking so far? I think I'm already thinking that the time of death might be staged. That Gregson was already dead beforehand. Then someone shot the gun, somewhere inside the room just to tell everyone else, hey, someone died here. I think that's my current theory so far. And that he wasn't actually shot with Van Zieks in the room. That would explain it, but what would play the gun? I mean, I still need the sound of the gun. It isn't factoring in quite yet. I honestly can't explain it, but it's the truth. As far as I was concerned, the body hadn't been there until that point, and then suddenly there it was. Did you perhaps hear the sound of the victim falling to the ground just beforehand? At that moment, what I heard was the sound of the door flying open and the scream of the man who came inside first. Nothing more. See, after the man fled, I examined the body. I was stunned to find that it was Gregson. It's curious circumstances indeed. How the inspector was killed or how his body seemed to appear out of nowhere. I have no idea. Oh, okay. Surely the court has said enough. My lord, the cross-examination has clearly revealed the accused Barack Van Zieks is lying on multiple fronts. This is not the theme playing to me right now. Sogi, please. You got relax a bit. What is that supposed to mean? Your gracious counsel, the defendant is lying, you say? His testimony just now. He claims that he failed to notice the victim's body because the room was dark. It's correct. No, that's impossible. As proven by this candelabrum. I'm not entirely sure about that. Do you have any proof that it was lit at the time? How does that prove anything? If you examine the tip of the long candle, you can see it's been blown off by powerful impact. I would assume that the projectile from the firearm passed through the victim and struck the candle. Problem comes when you consider the other two candles, which are of a clearly different length. Yeah, maybe, but, I don't know, it's still not definitive proof. Yes, I can see only the candle that appears to have been struck by the bullets is long. You'd reasonably expect someone to have lit all 3 candles together, which begs the question of why only one has ended up longer than the others. That must be because that particular candle was extinguished while the others were still burning. Ah. Right, when the candle was hit by the bullet, it obviously went out. The other 2 candles would have still been burning, so the fact is, the victim's body would have been illuminated by the light still thrown by the candelabrum. And the accuser's claim that he couldn't see the body clearly contradicts those facts. And now, to the next lie. The next? There's more! The accused also claims never to have visited the scene of the crime before. That's the truth. In that almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. Board covering from top to bottom police documents and newspaper cuttings. Yes, that's right. We saw it too. Are you gonna say that was, on Van Zeek's part, not Gregson's? It goes without saying that the contents of the police documents cannot be divulged. However, they include a number of reports from various historical cases, the oldest of which was from 10 years ago. Years ago. It's starting to sound familiar! I wonder why. There's a common thread linking all the documents on that board. Indeed, what's this common thread, Counsel? They all relate to cases prosecuted in court by Barack Van Zeeks. All of them. And furthermore, all of those cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted. Good lord! Interestingly, none of those defendants are alive today. Well, except for 3, because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper. Ah! Oh no. In short, that dingy little room is Reaper's secret hideout in his base of operations. Hey, if you are, just like in commercials, but wait, there's more. If you are in the next 30 seconds, you get another contradiction, absolutely free, just pre-processing and handling. Yeah, in the next 30 seconds, you can get screwed over. It's literally just, fuck you, Baltimore, or kick my ass. That one car commercial, that's literally what it feels like right now. That's right, you can kiss my ass. Right, the Reaper's hideout. And yet, the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout. No one believed that. No, the truth is, we've been looking at this backwards. Backwards? Explain, Counsel. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. Yeah, this is all conjecture. Order, order, order! Very well, I hereby state the current opinion of the court. Barack Van Zeeks is an outstanding prosecutor who has rendered great service to his country. However, it is with deep regret that I must concur with the prosecutor Sogi's contention that the defense testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistencies with the known facts. All I've done is state the truth as I know it. Has was a brilliant job as ever? No, not really. Drawing on his experience as a defense attorney to build his prosecution case, and it's formidable. Counsel, you will submit to the board that you just showed the court as evidence. It is to be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounding the Reaper's existence. Right. For legal reasons, there's nothing being sold for actual money. There's donations, but I don't think that counts as being sold. You'd be surprised. Thank you, my lord. Okay. Well, I need to look at that right away. Need to build up some sort of case here. A bloody handprint on my back. Hop. Hold up. Oh, what's this? Listen, Naruhodo. Look. Oh yes, smudge of some kind. In fact, looks just like a handprint. And the color. That's blood, isn't it? Oh dear, how disturbing. Okay, lay handprint on the back side here. Bottom here. Top. Just the documents. There are details of a whole raft of cases dating back years on here, aren't there? This paper from 10 years ago is browning with age. Look. Out of interest, the most recent thing appears to be the newspaper cutting here. Oh, it's the same Redhead League advertisement that Mr. Holmes had picked out. You remember, there's a red hair piece in the scene, too. Inspector Gregson exponent of the Redhead League, then. It's possible they could have been looking into that. Now, the prosecution would like to call new witnesses to the stand. Witnesses who saw events unfold in the day in question. They're mentioned in the previous testimony, too, if you remember. Yes, the street sellers who heard the gunshot and went running into the room. Very well, lead the witnesses in. Defendant may step down from the witness stand. My nose is fucking me up today. Certainly, my lord. Huh. Oh, it's fucking Beppo! Look at him. So, witnesses, state names and occupations for the court.
Names? We don't use names. Not too fancy for the likes of us.
We're just free and easy. Sell what we like, live where we want to live. I could give them all a vacant stare as I walk down Fresno and spit a few words into a verse for them. Oh, were you fired from the omnibus? Okay.
I'd be right in assuming that all three of you make your living by selling wares on the street.
Everyone, we gossip. I saw jaunty little tidbits to passers-by, you know?
Jaunty little tidbits.
Got an absolute smash for you, sir. Right in jellies. 6 pence the price, not a penny less.
Wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now.
Oh, come on, sir. Don't tell me you're not interested.
Try the man. Give him money, see what it is. No, hey. Pay the man, counsel. Hey, this is bullying. All right, 6 pence it is.
The wrong answer. Now, got your listening ears on? Between us, a young couple on Slay Street have just had twins.
I want my 6 pence back. Is that it?
No, that's not it. It's gossip, isn't it? It wants to spread, but that puts up to you and your mouth, of course. I got more, you know. One large issue one. 6 pence a piece it is, if you're curious.
I am curious, yes, about what's going on under that fat bottom lip of yours. Name of that unusual bruise or whatever it is that's poking out from under your collar. Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice that. What about the next witness, then? What name do you go by and what do you sell? Me? I'm Venus. That's what everybody calls me. Funny, innit? Sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local school kids. And she looks just like another witness from Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Yeah, there's so many fucking similarities between that game and this one. It's crazy. Right. Oh, toasty. 6 pence a pop. What do you say? Alright. You weren't exaggerating with little. Do they actually sell? Oh yeah, the second years can't get enough of my Venus firecrackers. Especially when I tell them that if they get 100, they could blow up the school. I mean, maybe.
Not most savory of ideas, young lady.
What do you say then, eh? One part with 6 pence for a pop? Wait, what? You want me to buy one? Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you can blow up the whole courtroom. Hey, please do not get me involved in these situations. I am not involved with this lady. Try the woman. No. Guys, I'm not gonna blow up the fucking courthouse no matter how much you guys want me to. Give it to Mike and see if she's right.
Pay the woman, counsel.
All right, I'll buy one.
Lovely stuff. Right then, this is something a little bit extra just for you. Venus special, only 600 pence. No, I am not buying that. 600? 600 of my regular fireworks. Nothing little about that, is there? And there'd be nothing little about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey either. Okay. Well, I have it as evidence, I guess? And the last witness. What name do you go by and what do you sell? Asogi. You are buying this round. I'm a thinker, me. Think all sorts of thoughts. I think, therefore I am. I am, therefore I think. Because I stand on the street, watching the world go on about me, they call me the observator.
Yeah, but no, man. Everyone calls you Sandwich, and you know it.
Sandwich. So, you don't actually sell anything.
The problem, Chair, is a problem. How did you say? I give advice, I do, and think what it means. I don't actually sell anything, though. Come think of it.
Pity. No more purchases today, please. Yeah, I've already dumped 12 pence on this.
Right. Well, we have quite a cast here, it seems.
I conduct a business on Fresno Street from morning until night, my lord. And always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene.
I see. Unless they had the gunshot, I suppose.
Not only that, but they are very bravely ran inside to see what was going on and witness the crime.
Oh, we'd better like that. Just between us.
Yes, Demilo, what am I to do? What terrible thing I saw.
What I think is well, all I see is light and shadow playing with her eyes. Is David real?
Very well. The court will hear the formal testimony of these three witnesses now. You'll describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident.
Can't imagine it'd be much, though. Witness's account.
We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did.
No, you didn't.
Everything from the moment they went in the building.
It was less than a minute after the Reaper got inside that we all heard a big bang.
Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait to go and see what happened. I went to the room, there he was. The Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body.
I was scared half to death me, so I ran off to find a copper. Okay. These witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything. What did they see going into the building? The victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Brock Van Zieks.
This bitch is that reading the paper. I know what he looks like. This is weird, us. Folks love stories like these. I made myself a tidy some already.
But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from their flat could have done it. All those flats in Fresno streets are unoccupied.
Of course they are. They're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot.
The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased. And we know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Hugh Boone. I don't see how this is important, though. How am I gonna piece this together? Okay.
Testified the cause just heard would appear to leave little room for doubt. It's become increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the defendant could have committed the crime.
Oh. Thank you for your candor, my lord.
It's okay. It's okay. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to cross-examine the witnesses.
Yes, my lord. Close court like this without jury. The judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I'd break down this testimony. Somehow. How am I gonna? How? How? Witnesses account.
The whole thing from start to finish, we did. Everything the moment they went in the building.
Okay, sure. When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Lord Van Zieks.
I suppose so. Lex was thrown on him to hide me. But I'll tell you one thing. It was the old Reaper that went in last, that's for sure.
Find Inspector Gregson. Did they arrive at the same time as each other?
No, not at all. The first model must have got inside good 15 minutes before we did that gunshot.
Oh, okay. So at least we know he's still alive then. Victim arrived 15 minutes before. Are you sure about that?
I sure. Does it seem likely that I forgotten to follow with bright red hair like that, does it?
So he was wearing the wig? Yeah, because they really were red, weren't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks, even.
That fiery red mouth still burnt on the inside of my eyelids, it is.
Wait a minute. You said the man was a redhead.
Weren't you listening, chum? Aye, he was a redhead. He had a big trunk with him as well.
But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red. Not by any stretch of the imagination. No, and I don't think he was carrying a trunk either. Although it was clear that he was wearing the wig, either that or someone else who was a redhead. Seems likely that the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party. No, I had to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct. What? Have a look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene. Huh. Why is he wearing... Huh. Yes, that's Inspector Gregson, alright. Red hairpiece. Of course, we saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we? I still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a hairpiece, though. But then why on earth would he have been wearing something like that?
The color does seem to suit the man, one might say. Photograph be submitted as evidence, please, counsel.
Okay. What became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying? I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene. Cured. Yeah, there has to be some sort of secret exit or something inside that room.
I do suppose I've been watching the building every second, do you?
Definitely saw him in the dock going in, though. No question about that. A minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang. Are you sure it couldn't have been those firecrackers you had, then? By which presumably you mean the gunshot. I saw these little things, don't I? How would I know what a gunshot sounds like? I always thought it probably sounds a bit... like this, doesn't it? Yeah, except probably a bit louder. You say that you heard the noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant here enter the building. Right, it was almost straight away. Bang, it went, just like that.
Well, he's a Reaper, isn't he? It's what the French call a fait accompli. For Reapers around, people are going in the ground. I mean, that's what he does, isn't it?
I think we get the message. Reaper couldn't allow the inspector to live after he discovered his secret hideout. There can be no clear motive for the crime. Although, what doesn't make sense, though, is why... if it was his hideout, then why would Van Zieks gather evidence on himself? That seems very unintuitive. There can be no clear motive for the crime.
Yes. It's certainly an eminently credible motive.
Great. At that point, you ran inside. Is that correct?
Well, the quick talks.
Yep. Couldn't wait. Yeah. So when Gossip ran to see what happened, did you go too?
Well, me, I'm a bit hampered, see? All signs of that I can't move very well.
We're way behind, presumably, with that sandwich board around your neck and that big sign in your hand. What a great burden you bear. Pardon me for asking, Mr. Sandwich, but possible you and I have met before. Oh, yeah.
I'm not anybody, me. The signs are what make me who I am now. I signed, therefore I am.
So, you weren't employed as an omnibus driver just under a year ago, then? Might be mistaken, but I believe his trembling is intensified, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, I agree. He's clearly been through a lot. Yeah. Who knows?
Turn down King Henry Street and the Black Widow as arms is just there.
Oh dear, you made him hide behind the sign. Life is full of surprises, I guess.
I arrived in the room and there was the Ripper coming and sang of the dead body.
So then, you were the first person to arrive on the scene, is that right?
And I was, kicked the door like a professional idiot, and yelled out, "What's going on here?"
Lord Van Zieks claims all he heard was a man scream, though. It was dark inside the room.
No, not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall.
Really?
There was a fellow collapsed on the floor. This was nice. It was the first thing I noticed when I got inside.
Well, yeah, I would figure. Ah, I see. The Lord Van Zieks claims I've not seen any such lights on the wall.
Next thing I noticed was someone standing right beside the body.
DQ's Brock Van Ziek.
That's right, the pale-faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked, I won't deny it, but I'm no little coward. Oh my god, give that Reaper a cold hard stare myself.
Did you now? Did you now? You have something to add, Mr. Sandwich?
There's really nothing to me. Empty in the head I am. Just two slices with no middle. So I don't know what you could want with me.
I think that maybe you just remembered something. Having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean.
Well, I think is, well, nothing's really. We try to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers. That's not how you sandwich. Keep your trap shut now. Unless you want us to make you into a real sandwich.
Hey, no threats on the bench, really?
I saw the Reaper. He fell clean over his backside.
That's it.
Oh, you running beggar. I told you to keep that a secret.
Scream needed. Screamed and scrambled off on all fours. That's what all I wanted to say. Mr. Gossip, is this true?
Always dead slippery, that's why. There my hand in the filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck.
What? A pool of blood?
Well, listen here. You know I was sprawled out on the floor. I still kept giving that Reaper a cold-eyed stare. And don't you forget it.
Let's just go back a little. Did you say you got blood in your hand?
I did. Happens to the best of us times, doesn't it? So I was scared, so I slipped over. You can keep it between us, can't we?
No, Mr. Gossip. I'm gonna have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony.
Oh, yes, I must.
How the fuck did you get blood in your hand?
First of all, amend his testimony to include the aforementioned details at once.
Yeah, you showed up, Cosmo. Right. So I got blood in my hand, so I quickly wiped it off on the floor. Wipe your hand on the floor.
Well, who wants blood in his hand, eh? Horrible stuff. They might have thought I'd done it. No doubt.
And you didn't think that might be a problem?
Doesn't really matter if I left a few grubby handprints on the floor. They'll get cleaned up in the end, won't they? Don't make such a fuss. That's a message from all of us.
Yeah, just...
Something wrong, Council?
No, my lord. I didn't remember anything in the report about bloody handprint on the floor, that's all.
Don't come at me with all that. You can't intimidate me. I know what I did. I went off on the floor, the blood.
I wonder, could that be what happened? Mr. Naruhodo? I don't have all the answers yet, but I think we may have just uncovered a vital clue. Yeah, so, was the board on the floor at the time, then? Okay. Save. Oh. Present. And take a look at this notice board. It is certainly not a floor. So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room. Are you quite sure about that?
Well, what else do you expect me to have done, eh? Doesn't really matter.
Police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigations. What exactly is the defense asserting? If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Asogi. Yeah, just shut the fuck up and let me do my speech now. Certainly, there was no bloody handprint found on the floor. What are you trying to say? There was a handprint and blood left very clearly at the scene. On the back of this notice board.
Oh, yes, indeed. Indisputably a handprint in the distinctive color of blood. Oh, you're dead right. That's my right hand. I know it anywhere.
Hot actual hero? Why does it say that? Okay. The witness very definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant. Okay. How about you try deflecting this? Try deflecting this ass, huh? Alright, now if the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there. Just look at the floor plan of the room. Notice board was in the opposite corner of the room to the victim, in an upright position. Even if it had somehow been toppled and was lying on the floor at the time, it would have been a considerable distance from the body.
I fell over, I came across the body. So I was basically right next to the core, not on the other side of the room.
In other words, the defense's assertion is contradictory. Well, that doesn't prove that well, the evidence certainly exists, so it's not like you're proving me wrong here. Yes, it is. There's a very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason.
Take it that you formulated a proper hypothesis, counsel. Regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's account and the hand found at the scene.
I have, my lord. Discrepancy between the victim's account and the location of the handprint is explained by... see. Nothing out of the ordinary. Firecrackers. Look at the fuse, I suppose. Yeah, an idea, Miss Naruho. You're staring at the end of the string of fireworks. Sorry, it's just that this is the Venus special. I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like. Shall we find out? What? But she said I could blow up a courtroom. Alright, that was a fairly sizable bang. Still ringing, Mr. Naruhodo. Sound almost like... If you set off a single one, it sounds like a gunshot. Certainly, but... problem is that the inspector was killed in 15 minutes, and he was clearly shot. So where was he shot then? That would hide the gunshot sound. And who set off the firework? Okay. Much evidence. Explained by... We don't have another handprint, though, do we? Yeah, none here. Graph, nothing. There isn't a handprint, though. Why would I mention that? Good hairpiece. We haven't inspected this. Wonder what the underside of a hairpiece looks like. That doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruhodo. You always want to see what lies beneath, don't you? I'm not sure that's quite how I'd put it. You must have to use lots of bird lime to keep it in place on your head, so it doesn't get blown off in a gust of wind, I mean. That might be a little convenient when you want to take it off again, don't you think? Odd. Explained by another handprint. Possibly be another hand. Okay, so it can't be another handprint. Board moving. Hand in the wig, they're a bit red, so it blends in. I'm not sure. I didn't see a hand. Handprint. Yeah, there's nothing on the wig. I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything.
I'll save it first. If I had to guess, the board moving? Real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. Or can see, it's upside down.
Ah, good gracious, so it is. If the witness puts his hand against the board, the finger should be pointing upwards.
What? What does that tell us? It tells one simple fact. When this handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor as I previously suggested, which means after the incident, it must have been moved.
What?
What does that mean for us, though? Claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting. And tell the court who. I don't know that yet, but the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be very clear on one point.
That would be
The position of the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord.
Oh, counsel, I must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court.
Time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was situated? Right in front of the door here, I would assume. Okay. Is that? It was right here, my lord.
Goodness. No, I'm afraid I don't quite see your logic.
Point Renosuke. Ah, damn it. Well, shit. Okay, it would probably have to be right near the body here, wouldn't it? Assuming there was blood. Right here. No. Okay. Where would it be then? Like, huh? Weird. No. Damn it. Okay. All right. Just right in the body? Okay. No. No. Okay. Right here. Damn it. Where am I supposed to have it here? Not in front of the door? No. Damn it. Where am I going with this? Where does this game want me to go with this? Like, in order for it to get blood in it, it would have to be next to the victim's body. Like, maybe just a little bit further to the left? This is the only possible location. Okay. I guess.
Here's into the doorway.
Court would think back to the testimony given by the defendant earlier. He said that when he entered the room, it was dark, and he couldn't see the body.
By heck.
No sport had been here, the body would have been completely hidden from view, and the light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear darker. The accused also claims that the victim's body simply appeared before him. That's true. Or, in his precise words, just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me.
I don't know about calling it a scream, but he was talking about me, no mistake. Because it was me that kicked the door open.
So if you kick the door open, that probably knocked the notice board over. If you look again at the floor plan. Considering what would happen if the door of the room was thrown open with force. That can't. The door struck the notice board, knocking it over, and making the victim's body visible.
Good gracious.
My client has told nothing but the truth. He has simply described what he saw. Alright, I did it. I did it, I guess. Good job, me. I did it.
Order, order! Counsel, how has this not come to light before now?
After the incident, somebody must have righted the board and moved it into the position where the police, myself, and my colleagues saw it when investigating the room.
Witness, what have you to say for yourself? Me, my lord.
You and your fellows were there at the scene before anybody else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board.
Citizens stand will testify again. You'll each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime. Stop looking over your glasses at me. I'll get the message.
Okay, Big Mouth. Tell me. Give me your slander here.
I don't know anything about that notice board. I just wiped my hand on it, that's all.
Well, don't look at me. I haven't a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time.
I don't know anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign of the crossroads of life. What's that pretty bright man? Scout voice that screams bored.
Uh-huh.
I can't see how it changes anything anyway. Detective still died when we heard the gunshot.
It still died when you heard the gunshot, huh?
So now if you can elaborate further.
Taken by the crime they witnessed, and with only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp by which to see. We can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened. That's right, it don't pay to expect too much.
It's man's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think.
Do you? Really? In any case, this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly commit this crime is Barack Van Zieks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact.
Quite so, quite so. Friends still wish to cross-examine these and with the systems. Does the defense wish to cross-examine the witnesses despite the circumstances?
Most certainly, my lord.
Very well, then you may proceed, counsel.
Okay. Come on, give me something to work with. Boy, don't know anything about it, just wiped down his hand. I haven't a clue, but I was doing some business with some second years at the time. Wait, why were you doing that in the middle of this? You say you were doing business with them. Do you mean you were selling them fireworks? Yeah, what else? There's the priory school just right around the corner, you see. Those cheeky little so-and-sos have got a plan to blow their school to Kingdom Come. So I've been telling them on, letting the teachers know what they're up to. Oh, you have? Yeah, wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, so I just let school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. Then, praise the Lord, the teachers take all the fireworks off them. And then, praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to me to buy me more. Everyone's happy, see?
Sure they are.
What a racket. Alright, oh, oops, I accidentally unplugged my headphones here. On. Oopsie. Oh, come on. Oh boy. This might need a second. Okay. Moment. I might have to close it and reopen it in order to get the audio working again. Okay. Oh yeah, I have window sounds turned off. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Okay, it's working. There we go. Okay. Sometimes teenagers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them all. Busy old life, selling explosives.
This is a guilt for cause, indeed.
Well, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, really. I'm ever so good at it. I wonder why. Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich.
If I say it was, can we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it?
No. No. The miscellaneous statement just now brings something to mind, perhaps.
Philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts.
Huh?
Let's say there was a great liar. And that great liar said, without batting an eye, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Would those words of hers be a lie too, or the truth? In which case, she's not a liar. Oh, it's a hellish paradox, that one, don't you think?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, but it seems to me that you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you?
Uh-huh. What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that. And I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers and set them off. That'll give you something to tremble about.
Uh-huh.
You have a startlingly disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady.
As do all goddesses, I suppose. So Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich?
Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Can you elaborate, please, sir?
Old Blabbermouth here headed for the room where the gunshot seemed to come from, but there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind him, too. That's right. That rotten liar over there.
Uh-huh. So you're a secondary witness, then?
I mean to say, I did in fact partake yourself to seeing the crime after all.
What'd I tell you, huh? I say I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I?
You're in a court of law!
Yes, you mentioned it.
Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it?
The new firecrackers packed such a punch.
You did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief.
Well, now you come to mention it. I suppose perhaps. I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah?
Either you clearly remember it, or you don't. Well, I should consider a fitting punishment for this perjurious act later.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
For the time being, you'll immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth.
Oh yes, my lord, of course.
Oh my god. They did sneak along behind Gossip and have a little peek into the room where it all happened. Okay, what did you see? You make a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus?
Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. Well, my advice, though, I take everything I say with a big pinch of salt.
Then why are you even here? Alright, but you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you?
Oh, please, as if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying.
Uh-huh. The truth, please.
Well, alright, just a bit then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know?
Did you touch anything at the scene?
Oh, please, as if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor.
The truth, please. Thank you, Cosima.
Well, alright, just a bit then. I had to look to see if there's anything I could sell. So I did give the place a once-over, but it was nothing to write home about.
Right. Now I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the nose board by chance, did you?
Oh, please, as if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I had.
The truth, please.
Well, alright then. I thought there might be something worth having under it. So I blasted the flippin' thing. Sorry, flipped the blasted thing.
Oh my god, woman! Man, thy bane is woman. Okay. You're telling us that you did move that board.
I think that did slip out, didn't it?
What? You daft varmint! I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think.
So, did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken, perhaps, to sell?
Oh, please. I should be so lucky.
The truth? No!
I might have found this old pocket watch on the nose board, I suppose. But a bit of junk like this can't be worth much. Always you, was it?
You're the one who took it.
Gina?
Young lady, may I remind you where you are?
That watch there. That was a present to Inspector Gregson from the yard for a big case he solved 10 years ago. Master case, no doubt. Boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub.
I see.
I swept it off him once and blimey, he was upset. He gave me a right earful. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years polishing and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did.
Possibly not the best thing to go diving for, then.
Not all that, though. I took it to Jabez's that night to ask how much it was worth, but the old dealer wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't give me a penny for it. Said it wasn't working. Knocked about and worthless, he called it.
Ah,
I know we should have lifted it.
Ada, come on. Oh, fuck's sake, this witness. That watch must be submitted as evidence at once.
Oh, please, just so long as you promise to give it back when we're done.
it wasn't yours to begin with.
No chance, I'll swipe it from you if you try to get your grub units on again.
That's enough. And the watch to the bailiff forthwith.
Now, children, watch your manners. Oh, fucking... Oh. Not fun. Not fun. Not fun moment.
Good lord! The glass piece be broken.
Unlikely, Chad, when the inspector was shot. How, though? I doubt he had it in his, like, breast pocket.
Doesn't take any more either.
It doesn't have a bullet hole in it either, so...
Which is why Jabez didn't want it. What a waste, huh?
Yes, indeed. Fears was stopped at the hour of 5.
Exactly when the gunshot was heard, then.
Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course.
Well, assuming that was cracked by a bullet. Alright. Fuck's sake, we have 3 pages of evidence here now. Okay. Pocket watch A1 without fail every single day. It's no longer ticking, the glass over the face is cracked. Alright. And there's the key. There's a tiny little keyhole here. Can you see?
Oh yes, that's probably for the winder used to wind up the mechanism.
Looks a little unusual, don't you think?
Yes, you need just the right key to wind it, I imagine.
Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Something a little bit like key that's about the right size to fit in this hole?
It'd be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully over what we already found.
I already have it. I don't need to inspect it again. Glass over the face really is badly cracked, look.
What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully.
Yeah, it's the fidget toy. Right, I imagine Mr. Holmes could repair it, don't you?
Yes, I should think so.
He's very adept at things like this. Useful man to have around, in fact.
Really? You're praising him for once. Wow.
But kindly remember that he's a great detective, Mr. Naruhodo, not an odd job man.
Is he, though? Is he really not an odd job man? Because that's kind of his shtick. Right, what's this? A little stub sticking out from the small hole here. Look.
I suppose there must have been a little knob or something on that's for setting the time.
In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took such good care of his watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it?
Yes, of course.
Which should mean that there's a small part of the watch still at the scene, maybe. Yeah. Something else on this watch, it seems, so. Guess we look at the fidget toy again. Okay. Let us twist that head, buddy. Comes a little worse for wear. Yep. Twist it around for fun. That. Key for a door. What's it for? I don't care. Inspect it again.
This is odd. Do you think perhaps the key could be the key for Inspector Gregson's watch? Oh, yes, it could be.
Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose. And it makes sense why the paint is smudged on the head now, considering he wound it literally every day, so. Oh, so the watch still works here. So it wasn't stopped at 5. I knew it. Perfect fit.
And look, the inspector's watch started going again.
So it's obviously just not been wound up, that's all. What is it, Mrs. Otto?
Well, if the watch isn't actually broken after all, I have a feeling it could have profound implications.
Deep in thought now. Perhaps I better start thinking deeply, too. Okay. Well, it's ticking now, so... As predicted, it had very little bearing on the case.
Now then, continue with the cross-examination, please, counsel.
Right. Just a bystander, crossroads of life. Crew's got a face that screams bored. Detective still died when we heard the gunshot. Are we sure about that? I feel like I could probably present the watch here, but I'm just gonna press it just to be sure. Alright. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that y'all heard the loud bang, wasn't it?
Maybe you didn't notice what fell over, maybe didn't. Maybe I fell over, maybe I didn't.
The Reaper's fate is sealed either way because the gunshot we all heard.
So your fate's sealed too.
My fate? That's right. The defense is fated to lose. Sogi, why are you being such a dick now? Come on, man. The prosecution to win. In other words, it all hinges on that single gunshot. So if I could just find some problem with that part of the story.
Maybe possible to change all our fates.
Of course, none of that changed the fact that I heard what I heard, does it?
Okay. I want you to go on, point it out. Okay. Okay. Anything? Anything? Okay. Guy still died when we heard the gunshot. Let's present the pocket watch here. Okay, we'll continue ticking after the glass broke, so it was before 5, yeah. Afraid that's not necessarily the case.
Oh?
At the scene, we found this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. Key. And having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that it in fact still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case has been built. What? Yeah. Time of death was much earlier.
Order! Counsel! Watch was stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock.
Yeah, which is when we heard the gunshot.
It is exactly the hour.
The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. Merely coincidence that happened to be at 5 o'clock. Even if that's true, 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. That's obviously when this crime was committed.
Nope.
No, sir. No, that doesn't hold. Why not? Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago.
He just winds it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. So he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years polishing and winding it. Meant the world to him, that watch did.
Victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day, in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well.
Yes, that would be
No, wrong voice.
Yes, that would be entirely reasonable.
But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day.
Oh, I...
Why don't you explain it then?
Summary, the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You can't mean... What would stop a man from winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead. Yeah, someone unwound it. Most likely, yes. If unwinding it is possible.
Order, order! Counsel has the most extraordinary claim.
Extraordinary isn't the word. It's absurd. You claim he was already dead the night before. You really think that Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? That subject, there's something rather surprising. It's actually an omission in the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted. Ah, that's right.
Wait a minute, you're forgetting that my legs went under me from when I kicked the door in.
What do you mean?
Like I said, I planted my hand in a dirty gray puddle of blood.
Yes. So the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh.
That sounds fast, doesn't it?
But the blood could be explained in any number of ways. Could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been poured... Okay. My learned friend think that fresh blood is available on every street corner. Well, I mean, pig blood, maybe. Well, it doesn't necessarily have been human blood, of course. You've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human.
Problem is currently being researched. At present, you are correct. It is beyond our abilities.
So then, a chicken's blood could have been used, for example. Certainly a possibility that wasn't the inspector's blood at all. Yeah, the autopsy's time of death was left empty, but I wasn't sure if that was intentional or if that was due to the script modification thing I did, and that was maybe a bug or something. I don't know. Well, the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's beyond question. Is it, though? What? Given that the time of death of the victim has already been called into question, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all.
Oh, please, what are you trying to say?
No one heard. It was a loud bang that came from their room.
Now you listen to me. A street seller's here is our livelihood.
I don't doubt your ears, sir, but you can all say with certainty that you heard the noise.
Yeah? Explain yourself then, Counsel.
The noise that sounds like a gunshot could have been made with these firecrackers, baby. Something like this. The culprit could have set up one of these to fake a gunshot.
Good gracious, the very fireworks that are sold by the witness.
Now, hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it? My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyway. See?
Not 100 of them together. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. Did they seriously? They really should have put in the sound effect there. I think that's definitely a mistake there. As Court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact. Trying to suggest that somebody set one of those fireworks off at the scene. I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day, and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear. But even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one else in the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Barack Van Zieks. No, they could have thrown the firecracker through the window and it would be fine.
Wonder if a match and my firecrackers go pop. See? That's why people like them.
For your fingers, young lady.
Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learned of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb.
Good heavens, a bomb?
Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like. Mr. Naruhodo, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing there might lead to another international incident.
Fair enough.
No. Wait, it's the whenever you like part that's important. A time device. Yes, exactly. A time device. Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left. Yeah, however, the device was nowhere to be seen, so that's the problem.
Your extravagant claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, Counsel. What proof do you have to suggest that a time device was employed to create a gunshot sound?
That is... We could have used the candles. I see. If you bury the firecracker inside the candle and you wait for the candle to go down, that could certainly do the job, but not exactly sure. Or they could have used the pocket watch, but there was nothing to hook it up to, so I doubt it. Huh. Okay. I think I'm gonna go with the candle. Right. Okay, candles. As Cora's already discussed, the tip of one of the candles in the labyrinth has been blown off. Oh, okay. Yep, that makes more sense.
Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, which presumably passed through the victim.
Yeah, which was already a very odd angle to begin with, and I doubt it was the angle that he was shot at, so it makes sense that that bullet itself is wrong. I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible. Why? Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible in the broken candle.
There are. Goodness, yes. But is it not the case that there was also scorching in the victim around the bullet entry wound?
Yeah, but there wouldn't be scorching on the candle. That's right, there was. But as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is at very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun. Which means that the scorching on the candle can't possibly be the result of a gunshot. You're suggesting that came from the fireworks.
How could that be, yeah?
The fact that there's such visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded. Or to put it another way, the candle and the firecrackers were joined together. Yep, that makes sense. The culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at a point partway down the candle. After the killer had left the scene, the candle slowly burnt down along with the other two, until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud bang. However, the problem is that they wouldn't know exactly when it would go off. They would have to test this very, very well. That's how the three witnesses came to believe they heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock.
Well, what a plot. This implies that the victim could have died earlier than we've been led to believe. The previous day, even. No. Now just hold your horses. All is lights out. The victim going to the building, remember?
I couldn't forget that flame-colored hair if I wanted to. The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this. Obviously, anybody can wear a wig, so the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely wearing the red hairpiece.
Someone else? Do you mean to say?
It was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. Alright. Okay, Asogi. Let me guess, you're gonna shut us all down right here. Because we don't have any sort of person we can nail with. Yeah, it didn't matter, the culprit just needed to get away. Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to know when Venziques would actually get into the room, so... There's a very high chance it could have just all screwed up. Oh, very impressive, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. And bringing out the full name, huh? Kazuma? I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had the makings of a great defense lawyer? I also know the lack of a time of death in this report, a stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired. Okay? So, are you consenting at this point, or?
Order! Prosecutor Asogi, what note do you mean by that statement?
I hear that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today, so we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjecture. But, while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it.
Well, certainly, I would agree with you.
And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing and where did he go on the day before the incident? You know. Inspector always carried out his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard.
Even within the yard?
However, concerning the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent what the case the man was pursuing. Wouldn't you, my learned friend? I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating. Yeah, he could have been investigating the missing man, maybe? Yes, I agree. Surely. My lord, defense believes it can explain the court. The case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death.
Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggestive,
By Inspector on the day prior to the incident.
the Red-Headed League?
Yeah. The morning of the 31st at the large park on Lime Street. Okay. That. I believe this red hairpiece points to the answer. We might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation.
Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable.
Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in the crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League.
The Red-Headed League?
So, you already worked it out.
What on earth is this all about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen?
Please,
Damn it, I smelled spit when doing that. There goes my bit. No.
There's such an extraordinary league. Like I see them all lined up in a row. I need to know, please.
Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception.
Deception of what nature, counsel?
They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London, tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact. Oh, those men that were in Sherlock's office. Okay. My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once.
You redheads.
Alright. Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece. So it's very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events.
I concur that we cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored.
Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Are we gonna have to conclude events for today, or? I don't know, because it might take a while to bring them in here. Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us, at least.
Prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring those 2 Red-Headed League conspirators before we prosecute Osogi.
At once, my lord.
Very good. We'll have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned.
And do you think you can bring them back in only 30 minutes? Okay. To be continued. Alright.
I think that's where we're gonna leave it off for today. God damn. Ooh, 4 hours went by just like that. Alright.
Yeah, almost 4 hour stream. Well, then again, it seems to always be just short of 4 hours, you know? Like, it never seems to go on the full length. Excuse me.
Good time to stop. Alright. You have a good rest of your day, dude. Just gonna fucking do my own thing. Do the thing. Alright. I don't know if there's anyone else here, but goodbye, everyone. Have a good night.
Or day, or whatever. Close enough.